right now. So if you're new to the Doug Stewart Show, man, trust me, you are going to have a fantastic time, man. We talk about sports like nobody else. Your boy Doug Stewart, one half of the world famous Two Live Stews. And once again, we do sports like nobody else in this world. We actually have a phone number that you could be a part of the show. The number is 404-822-5467. Once again, 404-822-5467. That is the number to the show. Join in. As well as be a part of everything that we're talking about on the show. Now, we talk about sports, but we also get into a bunch of other things. Sports-wise today, obviously, we're going to get into the NFL, what happened last night with the Kansas City Chiefs and the New England Patriots. Tom Brady looking kind of old, if you ask me. Right. We'll also give you the top 4 college football games this coming weekend, as well as the top 4 NFL games this weekend as well, on this funny, freaky Football Friday. All right. We also do a little entertainment segment in hour number 2 of the Doug Stewart Show, where we talk about entertainment story or two and kind of highlight some relevant birthdays in the world of entertainment. So we have some fun with that. That's hour number 2. And hour number 3, we call it the Power Hour, where we really get into the chat, man, and find out what Stewie's got to say. But once again, the big thing for today's show, man, is we are live on Facebook. This is kind of like the pilot episode. We're going to actually live stream and simulcast the show for the entire 3 hours, as well as take your phone calls and do what we do like no one else. Once again, the number is 404-822-5467. Also today, on Friday, we give out the dreaded boiled peanuts. Now, you might be saying to yourself, what are boiled peanuts, Doug? Boiled peanuts go to the Buster of the Week in sports, entertainment, and beyond. Now, it's a long story how we came up with the name. I don't want to get into it right now. I don't want to get into it right now, but we actually have nominees, and we have a poll that you can vote for on the website as well. So here are your nominees. Your nominees for this week's Boiled Peanuts Award winner are Kid from Kid and Play, following up punk-ass Jason Whitlock and mocking Colin Kaepernick on the little FS1 show. Which I talked about that yesterday, man. Very disappointing for one of the hip-hop legends and icons to get down like that, man. So, Kid from Kid and Play, his name is actually Christopher Reed. Also nominated for Boiled Peanuts Award, Jason Whitlock for being Jason Whitlock. Yeah. Ray Lewis for thinking that he's the decision maker in Baltimore with the Ravens. We'll talk more about that today. Roger Goodell for suspending Zeke Elliott for 6 games with no evidence at all. Franco Harris for Kaepernick hating 45, the president, just for breathing. Yeah. As well as, man, nominated for Boiled Peanuts, which is, once again, the Buster of the Week in sports, entertainment, and beyond, is hurricanes in general, in particular Irma and Harvey, man. If you are in the state of Florida, or if you have family in the state of Florida, man, we are praying for your peoples because this storm is the big one. This is the big one that they always talk about. This storm is way bigger than Hurricane Andrew, which devastated the state of Florida. It's 2 grades higher than Hurricane Hugo, in which I went through back in 1990 in the state of South Carolina, man. One of the cast that has a show on the network, my man Jeff Fox, him and a couple other people I know, man, saying they're going to ride it out. What I would say to y'all is don't do it. You hear me? Do not do it. It is not that serious, man. You can replace all your little possessions, man, your material possessions. You can't replace your life or your family's lives, man. So we're definitely praying for the people from the state of Florida and the people that are going to be affected by Hurricane Irma. Still praying for the people in the state of Texas with Hurricane Harvey, man. The Doug Stewart Show and the Two Live Stews Radio Network are definitely praying for your safety, all right? Yeah. And today also is a Top 5 Friday on the Doug Stewart Show. So what we are going to do is give you the top 5 stories. We'll kind of touch upon the top 5 stories this past week in the world of sports, all right? The top 5 stories this past week in the world of sports. We do this show Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern time. And so today we're going to break it down and all throughout the show give you the top 5 stories of the week as well. Once again, the number is 404-822-5467. Good morning and welcome Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Yes! Yeah. We're trying to take it up to the next level. Man, on the Doug Stewart Show with this Facebook Live and YouTube show. So you kind of get to see what we got going on in the background, behind the scenes type stuff as far as the engineering of the show and doing what we do here on the Doug Stewart Show. Now, when we get back from the break, we gotta talk about what happened last night with the New England Patriots and the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll kind of break it down a little bit more, but I've been saying this for a long time. Father Time is undefeated, and last night Tom Brady looked like Father Time was hitting his ass over the head with a bat. You hear me? Right. Not only that, but it looked like that Tom Brady was kind of concerned for his health because the Chiefs were actually bringing the wood to him last night. You also had a bunch of injuries in this game, and the Patriots go down. I mean, they go down in a big way. And the Kansas City Chiefs, just after 1 week and one game, man, kind of put the league at notice that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be contenders in this league this year in the NFL. So we're going to talk about it, man. A ton of injuries last night, some very devastating injuries, in particular to one Kansas City Chiefs player. I'll talk about that when we get back from the break as well. But the season is off and going and running. One thing last night, man, and if you listen to me long enough, you know that I have an absolute disdain for the New England Patriots. The cheating bastards that they are. That's right, I said it. You might be a Patriot fan listening to the show for the first time. They just disgust me. And it just bothers me how whenever you talk about the Patriots and they had this great celebration last night in Foxborough and celebrating this Super Bowl win, beating the Falcons and talking about them and the announcers and Chris Collinsworth and all of the different guys talking about this game, just fawning over the New England Patriots, conveniently forgetting that the Patriots have been habitual line steppers / cheaters over the last 15 years. That's right. Shut up, studio audience. They have been. Like, nobody wants to mention that. Like, everybody tries to protect Robert Kraft and Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. You know, in most situations, whenever you have some controversy or some dirt in your recent history and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show on YouTube and Facebook Live, as well as the DougStewartShow.com, which you need to tune into to listen to the show every day, the audio of the show 5 days a week from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern time. Everybody always makes excuses for the Patriots and just overlooks the fact that they have paid close to $2 million in fines because of cheating. Yeah. And maybe I do have some sour grapes. Maybe I do have some of them sour grapes, but it is what it is. Makes me sick. Anybody else that has ever been in trouble sports-wise, athlete, team, what have you, whenever you bring up that entity, whoever it may be, the announcers, the people in sports media, they always bring up their indiscretions and what they did to, get themselves in hot water and in the news. For some reason, the New England Patriots just avoid all of that. And I don't get it. I hate the Patriots. Damn, I hate the Patriots. So we're going to talk about the game last night. Happy that the Kansas City Chiefs showed up and showed out, definitely. Yeah. So we get back, we'll talk about the game. We'll also give you number 5 on my list, the top 5 stories from this past week in the world of sports. Once again, hour number 2, birthdays and entertainment. We have some fun with that. We talk about entertainment and stuff outside of sports all day long, every day as well. But hour number 2, we really get into it. And then hour number 3, we take your phone calls. We take your phone calls all day long at 404-822-5467, 404-822-5467. But in the third hour, we really focus on that. All right. Shouts out to everybody checking me out right now on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live, as well as the DougStewartShow.com for the radio show. All right. We'll be back in 3 minutes. All right. Don't go away. Keep it locked. This is the Doug Stewart Show.
Like me, you can squash the talk, cause I'ma show off. Whether fat or I'm fit, I'ma still take my shirt off. I can't forget some royalty, but y'all know what y'all be when it's 100 degrees. Got your hair tied.
The Doug Stewart Show. Shouts out to everybody in my chat room. I don't think I even mentioned that in the first segment. We got a lot going on here on the Doug Stewart Show. We have a vibrant chat room. We have the best chat room in the world. I call it the fantasy island of sports and guy chat. Its inhabitants, the people inside that chat room, I call them the Stewies. Good morning, Stewies. Yeah. Good morning, Stewies. Chat room off and popping right now at the DougStewartShow.com. Once again, the DougStewartShow.com is where you can hear the show live Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern time. All right. So make sure that's where you go from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern time, the DougStewartShow.com to hear the show. And we have this chat room set up as well, man, where you can post a profile pic and post your thoughts, and I read it all throughout the show. It makes this the most interactive sports and guy talk show in America. Yes, sir. Yeah. So make sure that you do that, as well as you can call the show at 404-822-5467. Once again, 404-822-5467. The top 5 stories this past week, coming in at number 5, the top 5 sports stories this week. Number 5, Cam Newton's little Bubba, Kalen Newton, and the Howard Bison beat UNLV as a 45-point underdog. Yes. That's right. The biggest college football upset in the modern era. So shouts out to him, man. 45-point underdog once again. Defeating UNLV 43-40. The Bison were led once again by Kalen Newton, Atlanta's own, Cam's little brother. He threw for 140 yards and a touchdown while in the center. And then he also ran for another 190 yards. Shouts out to him. And kind of like part of that college football conversation as well, I'm going to give a top 5 or number 5 on the top 5 sports stories from this past week, man. How about Lamar Jackson? I pitched a fit about this early in the year. Lamar Jackson, last year's Heisman Trophy winner, dominated last year. I mean, just had some of the most incredible games that you ever see, is really getting disrespected this year. This past weekend, Lamar Jackson and the Louisville Cardinals beat the Purdue Boilermakers. He threw 2 touchdown passes and compiled 485 total yards Saturday, helping number 16 Louisville escape with a 35-28 victory over Purdue. And interesting, ironic thing about it is the guy that was voted this year's preseason college football quarterback All-American, Sam Darnold out in USC, struggled, did not throw a touchdown pass. He went 23 for 33, 289 yards, and 2 interceptions. Right. And so I have a real problem, man. It seems like they treat dual threat quarterbacks like second-class citizens. Right. It seems like they treat him like second-class citizens, man. And I don't understand why you come into the season where Lamar Jackson won the Heisman Trophy last year, dominated, is back again, a year, more experience in college football. Why would he not be the guy that you would say is a preseason All-American at quarterback position? And if you listen to this show long enough, if you're new to the show, if you're just checking us out on YouTube or Facebook Live, then you'll know that I really have a problem with, it seems like, the built-in hate of dual threat quarterbacks, which a lot of times are black quarterbacks. It never really treated equal. Don't get the same opportunities as a lot of other traditional quarterbacks, guys that sit back in the pocket. So that's real bootlegged. So I think those are the 2 biggest stories this past weekend in college football. The continuation of Lamar Jackson, Action Jackson, as they call him last year, from the Louisville Cardinals, as well as the Howard Bison. If you didn't know, I went to South Carolina State University. I'm an alumni of South Carolina State University. We are in the same conference, the MEAC conference. I think those are the 2 biggest stories. Thus, topic or story number 5 is my top 5 biggest stories this past week in the world of sports. Yeah. That's number 5. But going to the recent future, or the recent past, man, last night the Kansas City Chiefs put them fangs on the New England Patriots. Praise his holy name. Yes. And I am a Patriot hater. Kareem Hunt, after fumbling on his first NFL carry, scored 3 times and set an NFL mark in a 42-27 stunner Thursday night to open the NFL season. Hunt's 246 yards in his pro debut were a record since the 1970 merger. How about this? How about old Alex Smith looked like a real quarterback last night? Alex Smith threw 2 long touchdown passes and became the first quarterback with 300-plus yards, 4 TDs, and no interceptions against Coach Bill Belichick ever. The 42 points were the most Patriots have allowed in Belichick's 17-plus seasons. How about Tyreek Hill? Scored on 75 yards on a 75-yard touchdown. And Hunt also pulled in the Chiefs in front of with a 78-yarder to punctuate Kansas City's charge after trailing 17-14 at halftime. Now, we give out ballers and busters on Monday, kind of like recapping what happened on the weekend. But on a Friday, man, on this fantastic, freaky, funny football Top 5 Friday, a big ball award to Tyreek Hill. And my gosh, to this kid, Kareem Hunt, balled out of control last night. Shouts out to them. Yeah. And the big thing I took from last night, man, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, the big thing I took from last night is Tom Brady looked kind of old, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. So Tom Brady last night, man, first let me talk about some of the other injuries, some of the things that happened in the game last night. Eric Berry, safety for the Kansas City Chiefs, is looking like that he has a torn Achilles. And you could tell when he pulled up lame that it looked like it was something like that. You didn't want to even say it. We kind of got this thing in sports where we don't want to even put anything like that out into existence. And but it looks like that Eric Berry, who's an Atlanta kid, if you're new to the show, listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube or Facebook Live, we're based here in Metro Atlanta. But Eric Berry, you could tell that it was probably the Achilles, and they're kind of confirming it today. So definitely prayers for him. Dante Hightower for the Patriots also went out last night with an injury. Danny Amendola left in the fourth quarter with a head injury. He's probably going to be done for a while. Julian Edelman, you already know before the start of the season, was out for the season. And so the Patriots got a lot of issues. Last night, Tom Brady, man, didn't look Tom Brady-ish. The 13th quarterback to start an NFL game at the age of 40 didn't look too good last night. He struggled all night long, finishing 16 for 36 for 267 yards, and it wasn't even that good. Those numbers actually are better than he actually played last night if you watch the game. So I keep talking about this, man. They've been lauding Tom Brady for playing in the NFL at the age of 40, just winning the Super Bowl last year, by the way, in which they probably cheated to win the Super Bowl. Right. He probably cheated on in that Super Bowl. That's neither here nor there. But he's 40 years old, and everybody at some point hits a wall. And a 40-year-old quarterback, another thing that looked like to me last night with Tom Brady, it looks like Tom Brady was scared. I noticed several times, and I'm not even sure, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I'm not even sure if he does this regularly, but last night a couple of times, the Kansas City Chiefs was putting that heat on that ass. And so he looked very timid to me last night, whereas when they had the blitz on and they were coming from the outside, he would shudder. He would kind of turn his back. He actually turned his back a couple of times to the defense as they brought the pressure. And so not a good night last night for Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, man, as they go down. And maybe this whole Belichick, Tom Brady era is coming to an end, which wouldn't make me any happier if you ask me. Yeah. I couldn't be any happier if it's coming to an end. Yeah, I'm going to talk about them a little bit later, man, and my thoughts on that organization a little bit more in detail for people that have never heard this show. All right, once again, the number to this show is 404-822-5467. 404-822-5467. You're listening to the realest sports and guy talk show in America. Make sure you go to the DougStewartShow.com and cast your votes, man, for this week's Ball Penis Award winner. Actually, our Facebook Live page. So we're all over the place on all different platforms, Facebook Live, YouTube, as well as the DougStewartShow.com, all at the Doug Stewart Show. Just search the Doug Stewart Show on those different platforms, you should be able to find us. We're going to give away these ball peanuts a little bit later to the Buster of the Week in sports, entertainment, and beyond. We got a lot going on this Friday, man. Yeah. All right, so we're going to take a quick little break. We will be back in 3 minutes. Don't go away.
Wrong way. Mama prayed too many years to take the wrong way. This is work for your mind.
StewartShow.com, YouTube.com, as well as Facebook Live. Welcome back to the show. This is a fantastic, freaky, funny football Top 5 Friday. Yeah. All right, so if you're watching the show on Facebook Live, man, we've actually got a camera view. You can see what I'm doing here. Like, I am doing something unprecedented in the industry. Yeah, I am. I'm engineering the show, running the board, bringing the music in, doing all of those things that an engineer would do. And we actually do have an engineer working behind the scenes on Facebook and on YouTube. Shouts out to my man, Robert Hix, all the way in Baltimore, Maryland, I believe he's in, or DC, the DMV area. But we got a lot going on, man. I am what they call, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I am what they call an artist. Okay, I am like JJ from Good Times used to say, I am an artiste. Right. So that's why today, if you're watching the show on Facebook Live or on YouTube, I have on this shirt. And I'm going to sit back for a second, and let people that are watching the show live see the T-shirt that I have on. All right. You see that? You see that? You know who that guy is on my shirt? That is the great Bob Ross, painter extraordinaire. All right. So you basically should call me the Bob Ross of sports and guy talk radio. Shut up, studio audience. I am the Bob Ross of sports and guy talk. Right. God rest his soul. If you don't know who Bob Ross is, just Google him, YouTube him. He was that old school painter, the white dude that had the afro that talked like this. Oh, that's a beautiful tree. That's a beautiful bush. Yeah. So rest in peace to the great Bob Ross. He died at a young age, man. I used to watch that thing. I've always been an artiste. Now I'm an artiste of sports and guy talk radio and engineering my own show. But Bob Ross died at like the age of 50 or something like that, man. Had cancer, but legend on TV and in the artist painting world. Once again, I'm not a painter, but I'm a sports and guy talk artiste. All right, 404-822-5467. Shouts out to Janice. Shouts out to Emmett listening to the show right now on YouTube and Facebook Live. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah. Yep. Thank you for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Pass the word that the Doug Stewart pass the word and tell people that the Doug Stewart Show is live on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live. We plan to do this one day a week at least, starting off. All right, so right now the tentative plan is to do this, the Facebook Live and YouTube Live on Fridays, on the Friday show. But for people just tuning in for the first time, we do this show Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. live on the DougStewartShow.com. All right, you have to be a premium subscriber. It's only $4 a month. But trust me, we talk about sports, as I told you already, like no one else does. And we have more fun around here. I'm about to start reading some of this chat here. We really, really got this like family atmosphere. I've been doing this show now for a little bit over 3 years, or right at 3 years. And trust me, we have a good time around here. Doug Stewart, one half of the Two Live Stews. If you remember, if you are a First Take fan, an ESPN fan, me and my brother Ryan Stewart did First Take for a little bit over 5 years before they fired our black asses and brought back Stephen A. Smith. But that's neither here nor there. We trying to do this entrepreneurial type thing, all right? That's what we doing around here. Speaking of which, man, let me jump into the chat room on the DougStewartShow.com, see what some of my stewies are saying. From KC, he says, Bob Ross got a fro. He had a fro. He's been dead for a long time. Raider Kev in the chat room on the DougStewartShow.com says, Chiefs fans, a.k.a. Tiffany, nice job beating down them cheating bastards, but don't start putting your eye on the division. You will see Sunday the Raiders have a chokehold on that. I talked about it yesterday with me and my brother doing our shows on yesterday, Ryan Stewart, that I got the Oakland Raiders going to the Super Bowl this year. And I feel a whole lot better about that pick, seeing as the Patriots struggled yesterday, because most people probably thinking that the Patriots would represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. Nah, I think we're going to have a change into the guard this year. Tom Brady looks old and decrepit, as I talked about earlier. That Patriots team's got a lot of injuries, and at some point, man, it's all got to come to an end. That whole dominant era of the Patriots, albeit most of it by cheating, has to come to an end at some point. And I think this is the year. I picked the Oakland Raiders, and we'll talk about this later as well. But I picked the Oakland Raiders yesterday and the Atlanta Falcons to make it to the Super Bowl. And what I saw yesterday from the main opposition, being the New England Patriots, makes me feel kind of good. From, who do we have here? You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Sid Jack 21, Baker Mayfield, privileged ass, didn't get roughed up like Mike Bennett did. But all we hear is excuses from the media and white in general. Yeah, privilege, definitely. From Miss J Twice, Facebook Doug Stewart Show, we got 3 devices going in a truck. Yes, sir. Thank you, Miss J Twice. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Thumbs up. Julius C81, Eric Berry got that Kobe, a.k.a. Vino injury. You're trying to be funny. If you're new to the show, I'm a Los Angeles Lakers fan. Don't ever talk in negative terms about the Bean Bryant. Stop it. Rough Buff, we are on 3 different platforms and 3 different chats. Yes, sir. Wow, that's right. I didn't even think of that. And John, you should have reminded me, or Robert, you should have reminded me. John is the web guy. That's right. We actually do have a couple of different platforms, 3 different platforms, when a couple of different options for your chatting pleasure. So the chat that I'm reading right now is coming from the DougStewartShow.com. But also there's a chat feature along with the YouTube show if you're watching on YouTube, as well as Facebook Live as well. So, yeah, just get your chat on, man. Get your chat on. Right. From Rough Buff, he says, Doug rocking his DMX look on YouTube. Rough Riders, where my dogs at? No, that's not DMX. Once again, that's the great Bob Ross, sir. An artiste, a legendary artiste. So today I thought, in honor of me being an artiste and running this show and doing this show, that I would wear my T-shirt with the great Bob Ross, in which I was a great fan of before he died a long time ago. Yeah. 404-822-5467, 404-822-5467. I'm kicking it with Kesey. At least we jamming in here. They got the corny music going on breaks for YouTube till we get licensing permission from the artist. Yes, definitely. From Julia City 1, get ready for the cheaters to start using the Apple Watch to steal team signs now. Right. Exactly. If you haven't heard about that, like, cheating is a family business in New England, evidently, as the Boston Red Sox were caught cheating a couple of days ago, accused by the New York Yankees of using technology to steal signs. And I don't know what it is about Boston, man. First of all, they're a very, very obnoxious fan base. I actually did a video, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I actually did a video talking about the New England Patriots and their sports fans. You can find that on YouTube a while back. I did that video, but they just disgust me. They absolutely disgust me. Let me give you number 4 on my list of the top 5 biggest stories this past week in the world of sports entertainment and beyond. Coming in at number 4 is Brock Osweiler scamming ass. I guess I need to do this in a couple of tiers. Baller Award to Brock Osweiler and the Denver Broncos. Brock Osweiler for signing this big $72 million deal, tricking teams and GMs that he could actually play football. Right. And shouts out to the Denver Broncos for getting rid of that crab and signing him back for 2 cents on the dollar. That's right. Brock Osweiler, who left Denver to go to the Houston Texans for a $72 million free agent contract in March of 2016, was released by the Busters in this equation on this number 4 thing of this past week in the world of sports entertainment and beyond. The Cleveland Browns, took Brock Osweiler off the Houston Texans' hands, and they get a Buster Award, as well as the Houston Texans for giving this guy the deal in the first place. I know that's confusing, but at the end of the day, a bunch of baller and Buster Awards, the Brock Osweiler, the Houston Texans, the Denver Broncos, and the Cleveland stinking Browns. Yeah. He did it real big. Yeah. And so that's the 4th biggest story this past week in the world of sports, entertainment, and beyond. Don't forget, in hour number 2 of the Doug Stewart Show, we kind of get off the beaten path. We talk a little bit of entertainment and birthdays and all of that stuff. We have some fun with that, as well as in hour number 3 of the Doug Stewart Show. Once again, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Hour number 3, we read a lot of your messages in the chat room on the DougStewartShow.com. Once again, we got a couple of different chat platforms going on Facebook as well as YouTube. Shouts out to everybody checking out the show on YouTube.com right now and FacebookLive.com right now. Yeah. All right. So we'll be back in about about 3 minutes. We'll be back in about 3 minutes, so stay tuned. Do not go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show.
Come on, man. Never look for scapegoats up yourself, bro.
All right, welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. This is a top 5 Friday as well as a fantastic, freaky, funny football Friday. And big day for us, man, as we are always taking it to the next level, man, as the show is live, being simulcast live on FacebookLive.com as well as YouTube.com as well. Also, and we're still doing our thing on the DougStewartShow.com. Real cool stuff, man. So later on in today's show, I'm going to give you the top 4 college football games, so says me, this weekend. And we'll also talk about the top 4 NFL games as well later on today. The first live or weekend of the regular season where the games actually count this coming weekend. We had some action last night on Thursday night as well with the Patriots and the New England and the Kansas City Chiefs. So we're off and running, man. We're off and running, and football is here. I mean, obviously the best time of the year, bar none. I actually, the last couple of days, man, I've gone outside and felt that little chill in the air make me want to go and suit up. Shut up. I do want to go and suit up, but I can't because I'm old and my knees are raggedy. But I'm happy football is back, man. And so we're going to break down the top 4 games, so says me once again, in college and in the NFL this weekend later on today on the show. Also, don't forget, man, for the regular Stewies and the people in the Doug Stewart Show and the Two Live Stewies Facebook chat group, you need to vote for this week's Buster of the Week in Sports, Entertainment, and Beyond. So your nominees are Chris Reed, which is Kid from the Kid and Play hip-hop duo from back in the day, man. Very disappointing where he followed up punk-ass Jason Whitlock on Fox Sports and mocked Colin Kaepernick and the stance and the protests and the movement and all of that. Just disappointing. I went on Twitter and I got after his ass. Pause. I got after him. Pause. And I hated to do that, man. But it's just if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all, man. So Christopher Reed, a.k.a. Kid from Kid and Play. Ray Lewis, former Baltimore Ravens, for thinking that he has some type of leeway in decision-making for the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to touch more upon that in a second. Roger Goodell. Franco Harris. Franco Harris did a little bit of cooning this weekend himself. You know, there's a saying, you know, and I don't know exactly how it goes right now, this particular second, but it's better to keep quiet than talk and erase all doubt about your ignorance or your stupidity or whatever that saying is. And a lot of these cats are being revealed to be, I don't want to call them coons, but exhibiting coonish behavior. And Franco Harris, man, one of the greats of my era, growing up in the 70s, man, came out and talked about if somebody protested for the Pittsburgh Steelers back in the day, Joe Green or L.C. Greenwood or somebody like that would handle it. What? Joe Green and L.C. Greenwood would probably be picketing and protesting and boycotting as well. Your punk ass would be on the sideline talking about we shouldn't do this. So y'all nominated Franco Harris, man. We actually get nominees all week long. You also nominated Jason Whitlock for obvious reasons. He could be on this list every damn week. 45 for actually breathing. And hurricanes in general, man. Hurricane Harvey has already done all this destruction in the state of Texas. And also Hurricane Irma going down in the state of Florida. We've been talking about it for the last couple of days, just like everybody else. Man, Hurricane Irma is a big one. Like, it's the big one, the quote-unquote big one. Survived Hurricane Hugo back in the early 90s, man. That was a Category 3 hurricane. This is a Category 5. A Category 5, I think that's the biggest that you can actually get. And, man, I just watched the governor of Florida this morning talk about this hurricane, and he's just imploring everybody. He continues to say it over and over and over again, leave while you still can. And I don't get it. I don't understand the whole mentality of we're not going to leave. We're going to, stay here and hunker down and see the storm through. I just don't get that at all, man. And man, a lot of people are going to be, they're going to be sorry. They're going to be sorry. There's no other way to put it. A lot of people are going to be sorry for trying to ride the storm out. 404-822-5467, 404-822-5467 is the number to the show. You are listening to The Doug Stewart Show. Yeah. So let me read a couple of messages in the chat on the DougStewartShow.com from Tiffany Hall. She says, I'm in the YouTube chat. They won't let me post too many comments. Don't know why. Yeah, now I don't know about that. That's YouTube. They got their own thing going on. I have no idea about that. From RC, he says, Franco Harris has been cooning for years. He keeps defending Joe Paterno, saying his statue should be restored, and now this BS. That's right. I forgot about the whole defending of Joe Paterno after the fact. Now, listen, I'm one of those people at the onset of the whole Joe Paterno, Penn State, Gary Sandusky scandal. I wanted to give Joe Paterno the benefit of the doubt. I mean, because I just thought that he had deserved that. But as time went on and more information started to come out, man, it was hard to deny his involvement or his lack of involvement is probably the better way to put it about that whole thing with Jerry Sandusky and kind of turning, and looking the other way. So, yeah. Franco Harris, who was Penn State running back when he played in college, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, has really showed and exhibited some real questionable character over the last couple of years, man, which is really, really sad. During my era, Franco, Tony Dorsett, the great Walter Payton, like those guys were iconic. Like O.J. Simpson took the number 32 to, the level that everybody wanted to wear that particular number if you were a running back in the 70s or whatever. So you had O.J., and I guess a lot of people will say Jim Brown before O.J., but during my era, it was O.J. who wore number 32. And right behind O.J. was Franco Harris. Like Franco Harris was a big, big deal back in the day. And then when you talk about Dorsett, you wanted as a kid to wear number 33 after Tony Dorsett. And then obviously number 34, when you see 34, it means Walter Payton. And so Franco, man, as far as big names, and then also playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Steel Curtain, the dynasty teams that they had in the mid-'70s, he was a big name. And these guys are older, man, and their true character and their true thoughts about social injustice here in this country, man, is starting to be revealed, and it's not a good look. It's just not a good look. Yeah, it's just not a good look. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show from Dre 2301. Plus, I would make it simple for Doug to obtain chat in one location. Now, that's a great idea. Now, we do have some some tech geniuses working with the Doug Stewart Show. And so that's a good idea. I'm sure there's probably a way that our web guy, John G., as well as in cooperation with Robert Hix, my man Robert right now, could figure out a way to kind of channel, and you post one time and maybe it posts to all three platforms, Facebook, YouTube, as well as the DougStewartShow.com. We'll work on that. That's a great idea. For Willie D in the chat, he says 34 meant Earl Campbell to me. Right beside Walter Payton, 34 is probably could be, synonymous with both of those guys. You're exactly right. Rough Buff says number 19, number 29, Eric Dickerson. Eric Dickerson, really, that's probably more accurate, more so than even the other names that I gave you, because 29 is an ugly number in football annals. Right. So 29 is I don't know why it's an ugly number. It just looks like an ugly number. So nobody really was trying to reach for number 29 at the start of the season when you were in Little League, when they brought out the big box and they had all of the jerseys. And you grab your jersey, you pick your number, or even when you got to high school at JV or varsity, and you by seniority pick your number. Like, there's never been too many great number 29s that I can remember. And you're right, Eric Dickerson did make that famous. Like, anybody that talks about the number 29 is surely going to talk about the great Eric Dickerson. That's a good one right there, man. 404-822-5467, 404-822-5467. We're going to take a break here. When we get back from the break, we are going to give you number 2 on my list of top 5 sports stories from this past week. At some point here very soon, we're going to also start talking about the top 4 games in college football this weekend, as well as the top 4 games in the NFL this weekend. Got a lot to do on the Doug Stewart Show. A lot to do. Yeah. 404-822-5467, 404-822-5467. Sports Talk, Guy Talk with hot sauce. Texas Pete hot sauce. Yes. I'm loving this. Yeah. So you can't see it if you're checking me out on Facebook or on YouTube. You can't see it, but I actually have like a little control panel in front of me where I can see all of the different angles. We got like 3 different angles, and so I got a lot in front of me. One of the camera angles actually shows it. Yeah. Let me make this show you something else right here. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Mm-hmm. All over the place, I know. There we go right here. There we go. You see that? If you're watching the show, you see that? There it is. I think Robert switched the camera. All right, I know this is stuff we should be doing during the break. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Don't go away.
Almost got hit trying to cross that street just to follow them hips. It's your girl, man, Pink Gator, P-I-N-C Gator. All my Bearcats alumni, current students, ex-students. Let me hear you eat 'em up, cat. Snap, snap. If you ain't heard yet, Sam Houston on the map. But they still sleeping on us. Wake 'em up. You reppin' Sam Q, let me see you throw it up. Let me hear you eat 'em up, cat. Snap, snap. If you ain't heard yet, Sam Houston on the map. But they still sleeping on us. Wake 'em up. You reppin' Sam Q, let me see you throw it up.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. So if you're a frequent listener, if you're one of the Stewies or one of the Stewettes, you may be saying to yourself, man, the music and the format changed a lot today. Well, I mean, it had to, because we can't pay people for copyright infringement. Yeah. So the normal elements of the show have kind of changed a little bit today for YouTube and for Facebook Live. But shouts out to my man Pink Gator. All of the music that we're playing today on the show, like this track right here. Yeah. All of the music that you're hearing on the show today was signed off on by my man Pink Gator. Shouts out to the Qs.
If you ain't heard yet, Sam Houston on the net.
Yeah. All right, this is a fantastic, freaky, funny Football Friday. It's also a Top 5 Friday, man. I'm giving you the top 5 stories in the world of sports over this past week. At number 5, we had Howard beating UNLV. Number 4, we had Lamar Jackson on his quest to win his second Heisman Trophy. Number 4, we had Brock Osweiler, the scammer. The Houston Texans, the Cleveland Browns, and the Denver Broncos. You got a bunch of teams involved with Brock Osweiler, punk ass. And number 3 on the list of top 5 sports stories from this past weekend, LeVar Ball says the NCAA ain't the boss of him. Yes. If you missed the story, if having a signature shoe ultimately cost 16-year-old LaMelo Ball his NCAA eligibility, his father, LeVar Ball, isn't worried about it at all. Given a choice between one or the other, LeVar said the priority is the shoe. That's right. Damn the NCAA. He's going to have a shoe, LeVar said Saturday night during his son's 16th birthday party held at an event space in Chino Airport. NCAA ain't going to tell me shit because they're not my boss. That's what they do, but they're not going to be like, oh, LeVar, you can't bring that shoe out until we tell you. What? Something that I'm doing for my family, that's mine? I'm not under no umbrella. In a statement regarding the matter, the NCAA on Thursday told ESPN's Darren Rovell, generally speaking, a college athlete or prospect paid for use of their athletics, reputation, or ability risk their future eligibility in that sport. Said LeVar, they're not going to tell me what I can do for my son and my family. He's not even in the NCAA. And that's the first thing they're coming up with instead of saying, oh, that's a nice shoe. Your dad just gave a shoe to him, the signature shoe that he can play in, that fits his specifications. They're not looking at that part. They're looking at how can we make it negative by saying, oh, he's got to be eligible for that. Got to be, no, it never happened before. So what are you saying? If you're new to the show, man, I applaud LeVar Ball. Everybody been hating on this cat, and he does have a big mouth, and he's kind of abstract for the most part. But I love his go-get-it attitude. I love it. I love his go-get-it attitude. I love his boss mentality. I love the fact that he's doing it the way that he wants to do it, and it pretty much has worked out perfectly. And looking at Lonzo Ball getting drafted number 2 in the NBA draft to the hometown Lakers. And this is kind of an extension of that, man. And he's right. I have one of my pet peeves or one of my signature rants or debates in sports talk, man, is the NCAA. And how they've been pimping these kids for a long time, man, and how at some point, man, they're going to find a way to give these kids some money because the pressure is just going to become too much. And then we're going to look back at some point and say, man, the NCAA really pimped college athletes for a long time. Why did it take so long for things to change? And so I'm 100% with LeVar Ball and trying to profit off his own likeness, his own brand. And so basically LaMelo, the young boy, is probably going to end up having to go and play overseas in Europe or something like that. And they're fine with it. And now LaMelo may be a little upset that he's not, going to be able to do it the traditional way that most kids did and go and play in college for a big-time college program. And he's already committed to UCLA. But, hey, man, I'm telling you, down the road, he's probably going to agree with his old man. You can't have these cats just pushing you around and coming up with rules anytime they want to come up with rules. That's that bullshit. And so I'm happy for LeVar Ball, man. I think that's the third biggest story from this past week in the world of sports, entertainment, and beyond. Love it. Love it. Absolutely love it. Shouts out to my folks at Financial Education Services, FES. All right. For $89 a month, you can get credit restoration, A+. The company is A+ with the Better Business Bureau. They include 12 other products as well: LifeLock, FES Protection Plan, Living Trust, Will, etc. They got a bunch of things going on, man. So check them out at FES, or the Financial Education Services, at KennedyDeals.com. That's KennedyDeals.com, or their phone number is 404-207-6526. Once again, 404-207-6526. Help your credit get restored and a bunch of other financial services and products as well. Once again, that's 404-207-6526. All right. So don't forget, at the bottom of the hour, the bottom of the 11 o'clock Eastern time hour, man, we do entertainment where we talk about a couple relevant birthdays as well as talk about an entertainment story or two. And today's entertainment story is kind of going to be an extension of what we talked about yesterday with Usher Raymond and Miss, what was her name? Quintata, something Sharpton. Quantasia Sharpton and Usher. Now, I had a huge take on this thing yesterday. If you haven't heard, it's been revealed. She said, first of all, that she had a sex tape on her and Usher. And then recently on yesterday, it was acknowledged by her attorney, there's no damn sex tape. But something else came up in the conversation yesterday. We'll talk about it in about 20 minutes. Stay tuned to the Doug Stewart Show. Yeah. Also, man, coming up here very soon as well on the Doug Stewart Show on this fantastic, freaky, funny Football Friday, as well as a Top 5 Friday. I'm going to give you the top 4 college football games of the weekend, so says me, as well as the top 4 NFL games of the weekend as well. From Dre 2301, I saw that picture. I'm not hitting that, period, point blank. Different strokes with different folks. No pun intended. From CJink75. What up, CJink75? He says, Dre, the NCAA basically owns your image likeness. Since the shoes are mail order, he can have a cutoff on orders before the season and pick up orders after the season. I do think there's a lot of ways around, Lamar Ball and his sons being able to still profit from these sneakers and still play college basketball. Talking about the youngest ball boy. We mentioned it a couple of days ago. Greg Anthony, when he played at the University of Las Vegas, Nevada, basically just, canceled his scholarship. Like, he returned his scholarship. He had a scholarship to play basketball, and he had this thriving T-shirt business going on in the dorm. And the NCAA was like, listen, you're going to have to let this go, or, you can't play college basketball anymore. Greg Anthony gave back the scholarship and says, in effect, I'll just be a walk-on. So he's not under the umbrella of the NCAA at that time. And he was able to play for the UNLV Runner Rebels, one of the best, I think probably the best college basketball team I've ever seen in my life. So I'm sure there's ways around it. And LeVar Ball is so arrogant and so bold, he may not even want to get around it. He may want Melo to just play basketball and make some money in advance for a couple of years and get bigger and stronger and faster and get ready for the NBA. I don't know. He's that type of dude where he'll push the envelope. So anything wouldn't surprise me coming from this story. I just love the fact, man, that he's just keeping it real. He's calling these cats out for the hypocrites that they are, which is the NCAA. So I think it's a phenomenal deal, man. From Angry Black Man, the high-level players should not accept scholarships from schools, and then the NCAA can't stop them from building their brand. Damn. So you just took what I just talked about, what Greg Anthony did, to the next level, which kind of makes sense. It's got to be some type of loophole in that thinking. What Angry Black Man just said is, instead of having a situation where you're in conflict with the NCAA, like this situation with LeVar Ball, if you're not even in conflict with NCAA, just don't accept the scholarship. And then that way you could profit from your likeness, from your image. It's got to be something to that where they can't do that and still be eligible to play. Some type of catch-22 bullshit with the NCAA. So, but that makes a lot of sense. Like, if you're the number 1, 2 ranked player in the nation coming out of high school and everybody knows it, and you're going to be a millionaire here in a year or two, you're probably going to leave college early, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you, forego the scholarship and just do your own thing? You know, go and sign autographs every weekend at a different car dealership, make a couple of dollars, you know, just like any student that pays for his education by himself, you know, could naturally do. It's a good point. I never thought about it like that. Very, very good point. Very good point. We're going to see. We're going to see. Now, you've seen a couple of different instances. You remember Mike Williams from the University of Southern California. He missed his last year of college football eligibility, and it really hurt him going to the NFL. Maurice Clarett, I think, missed his last year that he wanted to play college football at Ohio State. So this thing is not a new thing, but I think LeVar Ball is the dude to really, really push it to the forefront and strike some conversation about it. All right, we're going to take a quick break now. When we get back from that break, we're going to talk about the number 2 biggest thing this past weekend in the world of sports and entertainment. Yeah, we'll talk about that up next. 3 minutes. Don't go away. Stay right there. The Doug Stewart Show on the DougStewartShow.com, Facebook.com, or Facebook Live, as well as YouTube Live. Don't go away. Don't go away.
Baby girl, can you tell me? If it's flesh, if it's money, if it's kids, if it's raw, ain't no sin too big, ain't no problem too small. Give yourself up to God, the devil will flee. You ain't gotta be dead for your soul to rest in peace. Skater.
All right, welcome back to the show. Shouts out to my man Pink Gator. The Doug Stewart Show, thedougstewartshow.com, as well as YouTube Live and Facebook Live as well. The number to the show is 404-822-5467. We need to get a call on, man, and test out our stuff on Facebook and on YouTube. Yeah, somebody call the show. Maybe I'll get one of the other show hosts to call the show. If you're new to the Doug Stewart Show, to the Two Live Stews Radio Network, we actually have a network. We have several other shows throughout the day, all at twolivestewsradio.com. All right. But my show normally comes on the DougStewartShow.com. Now you can check out the live stream, simulcast on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. So we're doing a lot of stuff around here, a lot of Shirley from What's Happening big ass stuff. Yes, sir. Yeah. Hey, speaking of which, man, if you're watching the show right now, we have like a real intricate setup here, man. So the producer / IT tech guru is actually running all of the behind the scenes stuff on YouTube Live and on Facebook Live. My man Robert, as I mentioned earlier, I think he's in Baltimore, Maryland. He's in the DMV area. Is able to pop up on the screen, Robert. Let everybody say what's up. Check out your face and what you got going on, man, there in your studio in the DMV area, man. Big ups to you as we everything is going pretty much as planned. I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. Yeah, everything is going as planned. So shouts out to my man Robert there, DC, at the mothership, as we called it back in the radio industry when we had a radio job. Let me take a call. Caller, thanks for calling the Doug Stewart Show. What's your name? Where you calling from? What you want to talk about?
Doug, what's up, man? It's Kurt from Alpharetta.
Kurt from Alpharetta. So, Kurt, this is a very special day because you are the first live caller on YouTube.com and Facebook Live.com on the Doug Stewart Show. Big up to you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. You know what? I wanted to talk. I don't know if you talked about it already. I apologize. But, I'm kind of a late bird trying to get the worm. Tyreek Hill, man. Like, did you see that little package that they had of the 200 and what he would have been running behind Usain Bolt in that 200?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So for people that didn't see it, Tyreek Hill is world-class sprinter, running back, kick returner for the Kansas City Chiefs. So they actually transpose, like, I guess, a computer-generated image of where he would be if he raced in the 200 at the last Olympics against Usain Bolt and all the other top sprinters of the world. And Tyreek Hill would have probably came in like third or fourth. And that was a time that he ran in high school, which is crazy.
When I saw that and I saw that catch when Alex tried to show his arm and he threw the peace sign, I was like, yo, how arrogant is this wide receiver against one of the best defenses ever? But then after I saw that package, I was like, yo, this dude knows he's the truth.
Yeah.
I was highly impressed.
Yeah, they looked phenomenal last night. It is only one game, man. But what are your thoughts about the Kansas City Chiefs and Andy Reid and Alex Smith? Like, Alex Smith actually last night looked like a quarterback. Like, all before, we always talk about Alex Smith being this game manager. But last night, man, he was very direct and, very, very succinct in what he did out there on the field as a quarterback, man.
One of the things, I think Kansas City is going to be good, but one of the biggest things I hated about the Patriots and Belichick is the fact that Bill Belichick was so intimidating that he would actually make you beat himself. And the only person that didn't fall for that was Tom Coughlin, who actually worked with him.
Right.
So I think the thing would happen with Atlanta. I think Atlanta beat themselves in the Super Bowl. I mean, I know, we talk about that too much. But at the same time, I really do think Atlanta exposed the Belichick defense.
Oh.
I really do. I mean, of course they came back, but I really do. I mean, it was over by halftime. Truthfully, it was over by halftime, and I just think that Alex Smith and others in the NFL, you're going to start seeing them throw on New England a whole lot more.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Appreciate the call, brother.
All right,
there he is. That's a great call. Great call. And he's right. Maybe the Patriots were exposed to a large degree in the Super Bowl. I mean, they were exposed up until the last quarter and a half. I mean, the Patriots got dominated in that Super Bowl, and it's so tough for me to talk about it. And for people checking me out on Facebook or on YouTube, man, and never listened to the show before, like, I'm not the biggest Falcon fan in the world. I'm originally from South Carolina. I've been in Atlanta for about 20 years now. I love the city, support and root for all of the teams, man. But that was the most hurtful thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, at the time, and they even mentioned it last night when they did this little, vignette at the beginning of the game, where they said that the Patriots, at the time when they were down the 25 points, at that point in the game, it was only like 3 minutes left in the third quarter. At the time they were down in that game in the Super Bowl, there was a 99.6% chance that the Falcons were going to win. And somehow the Falcons, a lot of people will tell you, found a way to lose. What I'd like to tell you 8 months after the fact that I've actually come out with is I believe that we're going to find out down the road that the Patriots started cheating again. Had to have, because there's no way possible. And you know what happened. The rest is history, man. So just a bad look. And like I said, I think all of the little pieces are coming together where maybe this Patriots run is over. And if you're like me, you're happy, because I'm sick and tired of the Patriots. I'm sick and tired of their cheating ass ways, the coach, the owner, their wives. Tired of them. Hey, the second biggest story this past week in the world of sports, entertainment, and beyond is Ray Lewis's false sense of how much he means to the Baltimore Ravens. Right. Ninja, please, sit your ass down. Ray Lewis said the Baltimore Ravens chose not to sign Colin Kaepernick after the quarterback's girlfriend posted a racist tweet featuring the former All-Pro linebacker and owner Steve Biscotti. Quote, "We were going to close the deal to sign him." Shut up. You weren't about to close nothing. Lewis said on Showtime's Inside the NFL on Tuesday night. Steve Biscotti said, "I want to hear Colin Kaepernick speak to let me know what he wants, or does he want to play football." The August 2nd tweet by Nessa Diab compared a picture of Lewis hugging Biscotti to a scene from Django Unchained, in which Samuel L. Jackson, as a loyal house slave, held Leonardo DiCaprio's cruel plantation owner character. Quote, "His girl goes out and puts out this racist gesture and doesn't know we are in the back office about to try to get this guy signed." Man, I can't even talk about this damn story no more. I'm not even going to read any more points of it. Bottom line is this. There's a couple things to be said about this story, and I said all of this week, but we're recapping here on this fantastic Freaky Funny Football Friday. Number one, the biggest thing is, if you think, and I'm talking to Ray Lewis, because I know Ray Lewis is listening to the show right now. Ray, if you think Steve Biscotti is going to consult with you with any decision with the Baltimore Ravens and making money and take it to heed, you are fooling yourself. And number two, nobody tweeting anything or putting anything on social media, which happens all the time, by the way. People get on social media and throw jabs at other people all the time, every day. All week long, all year long on social media. That's what social media is for. Or what has become over the last couple of years is a playground for people to throw shots at other people. So you think that somebody, it could be his wife, his girlfriend, it doesn't even matter. If you think that because this man's girlfriend got on there and posted this stuff about you, which a lot of people will say was actually very, very true, and your relationship with Biscotti and the way that you are bucking and dancing over the last couple of days and months and weeks is actually pretty true. But if you think that the Ravens, or any team for that matter, in that regard, would not sign a player that they think could help them win games because of something stupid like that, something personal like that, a personal opinion of somebody that has nothing to do with the team or the organization or the league, then you're crazy even more so than I even thought. So the whole thing is ridiculous, man. And Ray Lewis, man, is really, just like I said earlier, in a long list of people that are being exposed, man, for some real coonish type behavior. And it's really, really sad, man. And Ray Lewis is one of my frat brothers. They let him in the damn frat. So it really hurts, man. You know, no one can deny social injustice has been out of control, especially over the last couple of years. It's been out of control for over 400 years. But especially over the last couple of years, we've seen all these different incidences of police brutality with unarmed black men. Simple as that. And as I continue to say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. Don't elevate yourself to some level of seniority with the Baltimore Ravens organization. And Steve Biscotti don't give a rat's ass what you think about anything business-wise. It's just silly. When we get back from the break, entertainment. Don't go away. The Doug Stewart Show.
Say a prayer and reconsider before you re-up my soul. Up, man, remember you ain't finished till your feet touch the sand. To all my out bros, Continue to stand tall, outlaying night D, yeah, I'm talking to y'all. We used to wreck a bruh, check a bruh, brush him out, show love, switch shirts, get his information, then we hit the club, set him out the chicken, no drinking this whatever, road trip to his yard, the bruh drive to Renner brother, district meeting, get a hit, the Neo's on the pit, nowadays when I road trip, I don't see none of that shit, purple and gold, damn right, drugs hopping every night, community service, all right, you late, we let that do it bite, bruh fight, we all fight, bruh fight, we trick Omega Sci-Fi till the day I die. That's my chosen way of life.
Hey, welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. On YouTube, on Facebook Live, and obviously on the DougStewartShow.com. Thank you for joining aboard. The number is 404-822-5467. Once again, 404-822-5467. For the people listening to the show right now, make sure that you cast your votes for this week's Buster of the Week in Sports Entertainment and Beyond. We call it the Boiled Peanuts Award. It's a long-ass story on how we came up with the Boiled Ass Peanuts Award. It's a long story. And I don't want to get into it right now. It's complicated and it's very silly. Just ask one of the Stewies or the Stewettes, and they'll explain it to you. But we have that award. We'll give that out later on today. The nominees are Chris Reed, a.k.a. Kid from Kid and Play. Ray Lewis, just talked about him in the last segment. That was the second biggest sports story this past week. Roger Goodell for the dictatorship that he continues to run over the NFL and its players. You also nominated this past week. This is the regular listeners and Stewies and Stewettes that nominated these folks. Roger or Franco Harris, sorry. Franco Harris, former Pittsburgh Steelers running back, now doing coon dancing. You also nominated Jason Whitlock. You nominated 45. He gets nominated every week because he does something every week that's just silly as shit. Too many things to even mention with 45 with the orange dude. And also y'all nominated the Hurricanes, man, for being Hurricanes, not the Miami Hurricanes, the football team. We're talking about Irma and Harvey punk asses. Well. All right, so this is the time of the show that we do a little entertainment talk, man. Celebrating his 29th birthday today is rapper Wiz Khalifa. Wiz Khalifa, man, he's actually, did y'all know that he actually is from, I think he's from Europe? And I should have had that in front of me. I'm not sure, but he's not actually from Pittsburgh. You know, he had the song when he first came out, Black and Yellow, kind of like an ode to the city and to the Pittsburgh Steelers. But he turns 29 years of age today. Happy birthday to that young man. Yeah. Today, also celebrating her 37th birthday is singer-songstress Pink. Pink turns 37 years of age today. Happy birthday to her. Now, she's actually from Pennsylvania. I like Pink. She's pretty good. She's all right. She ain't bad. She's pretty good. So she turns 37 years of age today. Pretty happy birthday to her. Today, speaking of artists, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, Slim Thug turns 36 years of age today. Happy birthday to Slim Thug from Houston. Yeah. What was that Slim Thug sound? He had tipping or something like that. Tipping on fofos. Him and the great Mike Jones. Happy birthday to Slim Thug today. Also celebrating his 47th birthday today is DJ Big Boy. Right. You remember Big Boy? He actually was still a big radio personality in L.A. He works for Power 106. Moved to KRL in 2015. Actually, he was with Power 106. Now with KRRL in Los Angeles. Real cool dude. When we used to go to Vegas all of the time for the fights, but we had a job with a real radio station. Shut up! Shut up, studio audience. When we had a job at a real radio station, we would go to Vegas a couple times a year for fights, and they'd have like media row with it. All of the radio shows that are promoting the fight for HBO usually were all like grouped in like a convention center type setting. And we always used to be in there with Big Boy, real cool dude. He lost. I think he had that stomach surgery, or they stapled his stomach together or something like that. Like, he was every bit of like 400 pounds at one time for most of his life, his adult life. And then he had that surgery, man. He lost over 275 pounds, I think it was. Like, he looks like a totally different person. So shouts out to my man Big Boy out there on the West Coast doing his DJ thing. Also, Lorenz Tate, a.k.a. Old Dog from Minister Society, turns 41 years of age today. Yeah. Yeah. I don't care what. I don't care what role he plays. And most of y'all have seen Lorenz Tate is now on Power. He has it's kind of significant, but not really. But I don't care what. I don't care what Lorenz Tate does. He's always going to be Old Dog from Minister Society to me. I'm sorry. Yeah. Also today is Amani Toomer's birthday. Remember Amani Toomer, wide receiver for the New York Giants? He turns 42 years of age today. Happy birthday to Amani Toomer, former Michigan Wolverine, I believe. Happy birthday to him. And that's it. I don't think we even have any Stewie's birthdays today. So we also give birthday shouts out on the show, on the Doug Stewart Show. And so email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. We'll give you a birthday shout out if you had an anniversary or something very significant coming out. I mean, this show is heard all over the world. It's pretty cool on your birthday to get a shout out, and somebody in Budapest or Iceland here, you get the shout out on the Doug Stewart Show. Yeah. So shoot me an email at doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we'll give you a birthday shout out. We love giving birthday shouts out. Yes, sir. Now, as I mentioned a little bit earlier today, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and you're watching me on YouTube and on Facebook Live and all of that stuff, which is a real good look. I'm happy. I got my Bob Ross shirt on today, basically paying homage to artists all over the world because I, too, am an artiste. I mentioned how yesterday we talked about this Quintasia Sharpton young lady, what a lot of people would consider a BBW, a big, beautiful woman. And these accusations that she had sexual relations with Usher Raymond and that she was exposed to the herpes simplex 35 virus. And I was talking and continue to say over the last couple of weeks when this story came up that I don't believe it at all. That I don't believe Usher would pick that young lady out of the crowd after one of his concerts and get with her when he could get with pretty much anybody out there that night. And yesterday, my brother, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, yesterday my brother presented me a picture of this young lady all done up, all made up. And I kind of got a change of opinion. Now, I kind of have a change of opinion on this. On these pictures that my brother provided me, man, and I actually posted them in the Two Live Stews Facebook radio chat group. These pictures of this young lady looks like she went to a hairdresser and a makeup artist or whatever, man. And, makeup a lot of times will lie to you. You got to be very careful with all of the damn makeup. But if this young lady in this picture that was shown to me by my brother on yesterday is the lady that Usher saw in this vast sea of women that wanted to get with him, and tonight he was in a BBW type of mood, yeah, I think Usher hit that gal. I think he hit it. I think he hit it. Dude, I think he hit it. Yeah, I think he hit it. I have changed over. You know, I think she's lying about a lot of stuff. I think she's embellishing a lot of the details of this. But from the picture I saw, and a lot of the Stewies, a lot of the Stewettes that have seen this picture, I posted it online once again, they're agreeing with me as well. He did that shit. Right. He did it. Yeah. And he exposed that young lady to the herpes simplex 25 virus. And that's not funny. I shouldn't even make fun of that, but he did it. If it was the young lady that my brother showed me the picture of, he did it. He did it. He did it. There's nothing wrong with BBW love. There's nothing wrong with it at all.
I got an attitude. If there ain't a bad catch,
he did it. All right. We're going to take a quick little break. When we get back from the break, man, I'm going to start talking about some football in general, what we got coming up this weekend. We call it the Funky Four. I'm going to give you the top 4 college football games this weekend. We'll break those down. And then after that, we'll talk about the NFL. I'll give you the top 4 games in the NFL this weekend that you need to pay attention to. And later on in today's show, I'm going to give you my Super Bowl picks as well as who I like to win it all in college football. That's how we'll kind of end today's show. All right? Sports Talk with Hot Sauce. Texas Pete Hot Sauce. Don't go away. Back in 3 minutes.
No doubt, any other color jersey getting knocked out. I can smell it in the air. Sam Houston, where you at? On pride, get down. So I know you love that. Make some noise in the bleachers. Stand up. Last minute we can win it, so you better man up. Everybody listen close. What's that? The sound of the city yelling, need 'em up. Everybody listen close. What's that? The sound of the city yelling, eat 'em up, cats. Everybody listen close. What's that? The sound of the city yelling, eat 'em up, cat. Let me hear you eat 'em up, cat. Snap, snap. If you ain't heard yet, Sam Houston on the map. But they still sleeping on us. Wake 'em up. You reppin' Sam Hugh. Let me see you throw it up. Let me hear you eat 'em up, cat. Snap, snap. If you ain't heard yet, Sam Houston on the map. But they still sleeping on us. Wake 'em up. You reppin' Sam Hugh. Let me see you throw it up. If you ain't a bear cat, hey, then you can get it. Meet me in Huntsville in the fight. Come with it. If you ain't a bear cat, hey, then you can get it. Meet me in Huntsville in the fight. Come with it. If you ain't a bear cat, hey, then you can get it. Meet me in Huntsville in the fight. Come with it. If you ain't a bear cat, hey, then you can get it. Meet me in Huntsville in the fight. Come with it. Damn, you can stand up. Come on, man. You know the Greeks don't get tired. We gon' have to be at it. All night is all right. Yeah, track one on the beat. What easy, yes, she wrote me. What a AK, what a new day, new fire, what a easy, what is easy, yes, she wrote me. What a AK, what a new day, new fire. I'm in the place cutting up with my letters on. Somebody tell a DJ to play my damn song. I'm on the dance floor with my sign up. The perfect place for your haters is behind us. I got some Neos in the building, they all stepping. Bump my line one more time and let me show you flex. Ain't a knucklehead, but we can take it, yeah. Pet peeve number 1, I'm just my fret, yeah. I did a song for the Q, know you heard about it. But this song right here, it's for everybody. Go to pink and green, crimson and cream. Go to ZSG, roll 9 mean. To the apes in the place, put your eyes up. If you are new to your die, put your canes up. And to the blue fire, I already know it. I hold the cute out, don't get it slow. What a crazy, what a easy, what a easy. Already, baby. You know what it is, man. Stop tripping. You know how it was when you first got off, man. Let's go next. Yeah, you know what it is. Where my neos at? Where my old school freaks at? You know what it is, man. Hey, come on, turn the lights on so we can all see. I bet you can't step like me. You can squash the talk, cause I'ma show off. Whether fat, harm fit, I'ma still take my shirt off. I can't forget sorority, but y'all know what y'all be when it's 100 degrees. Got your hair tied up, take your earrings off. If you're LS, man, tell her don't point out now, hey. Get the slapping, hey. Let's start stepping, hey. Get the slapping, hey. Let's start stepping, hey. Get the slapping, hey. Let's start stepping, hey. Get the slapping, hey. Let's start stepping. I got left for everybody, but respect my toe. It's a promise, if somebody gonna
All right. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show on Facebook Live, as well as on YouTube, as well as the DougStewartShow.com. Don't forget, man, become a premium member to the Doug Stewart Show and check us out every day where we really, get into all of these sports topics out there and entertainment and everything going on in the world today. All right. So we have a lot of fun Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So go to the DougStewartShow.com, become a premium member, and become a Stewie, become a Stewette. And get down with the get down. Let me grab a call. Thanks for calling the Doug Stewart Show. What's your name? Where you calling from? What you want to talk about?
It's an angry black man calling from Tampa, man.
Angry black man. Why you so damn angry?
Hey, man, I'm not that angry today, man. I'm happy for you, brother, man. You're doing it on three platforms, man. That's huge.
Man, I appreciate it, brother. Now, you're in Florida. Did you get out or what's up? What's up with you?
No, I tried to get out with some flights, but it was like $600-800 for me to get home to Chicago. So I'm here, man. I got my beer, my liquor, and I'm going to go to my buddy's house since he has a generator and just try to ride this thing out. I figure we'll get some wind and some rain once it comes up through Miami. It says it's pretty much going to go up to 75 corridor, so, and then head up to Georgia your way.
Yeah, so you're not actually on the immediate coast in Florida.
No, I'm on the West Coast, so we'll still get a lot of rain and wind and maybe lose some power, but we won't have that storm surge and that immediate danger they'll have in Miami, probably.
That's what's up, man. Hey, I'm praying for your brother, man. I wish you would get the hell out of there, but if you got to stay, man, I'm praying for you and everybody else down there.
All right, brother, man. I'll talk to you later, man. Keep doing it big.
There he is, my man, Angry Black Man. So damn angry. One of the Stewies to the show, listens to the show faithfully, has listened to the show faithfully, man. All right, so let me talk about these college football games. Week 2 of college football coming up this weekend, man. And so I picked out kind of like the 4 biggest games, in my opinion, the 4 most interesting games on the slate. Game number 1 is Oklahoma taking on Ohio State. You've got number 5, Oklahoma taking on the Buckeyes, who are ranked right now at number 2. This is a key matchup for Ohio State, which a lot of people feel like can make a run towards the national championship. Last week they really struggled with Indiana, which was kind of crazy. It was a first game of the year, and it was on the road, but still, you never expect Ohio State to struggle with Indiana. All they do is play basketball around there. They don't play no damn football. So you also have involved with this game 2 guys that are being talked about for the Heisman Trophy, who are contenders for the Heisman Trophy, and Baker Mayfield, the quarterback for Oklahoma, as well as J.T. Barrett, who is a third-year captain of the Ohio State Buckeyes. Last week, J.T. Barrett kind of got it going in the second half of the game against Indiana and went 20 for 35 for 304 yards and 3 touchdowns. Baker Mayfield also, really cranked things up in the second half of their game as well, where he went 19 for 20. Very accurate all day long, 329 yards and 3 touchdowns as well. So this is a big, big game. Vegas likes Ohio State at home at the Horseshoe, -7. So Ohio State favored in this game by 7 points against OU. That is game number 1 in my Funky 4 biggest college football games this weekend. All right. Game number 2. And you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Game number 2. I like the Louisville Cardinals on the road and Tobacco Road taking on the North Carolina Tar Heels. That's right. And really, my only reason for following Louisville, this will tell you how much a star can bring attention to your program, to your organization. I'm all about Lamar Jackson and continuing to watch him and see if he can continue to do things that he's done in the first 2 years that we've really seen him on the field. As I mentioned earlier in today's show, last week, Lamar Jackson went 30-46, 378 yards, 2 touchdowns, rushed right at 100 yards as well. So my whole thing with Louisville is I want to see what they do the rest of the year. Does it continue? Does Lamar Jackson continue to add to his resume of dynamic play? And I've said it many, many times on the Doug Stewart Show, man. This guy, Lamar Jackson, is the closest thing to Mike Vick that I've seen since Mike Vick. And he may, even at this stage in his career, may be a more accurate thrower than Mike Vick was. Mike Vick had the cannon of an arm when he was at Virginia Tech. But it just seems like to me, and maybe I just don't remember, but Lamar Jackson, man, is really accurate to football with a lot of the plays that he has. He also has Bobby Petrino as his offensive coordinator, so that probably helps a lot as well. Obviously, Bobby Petrino being this quarterback offensive guru. So I want to see if Louisville actually, continues to dominate or Lamar Jackson continues to dominate. They actually struggled at the ending part of last season. Last week looked good, like everything was A-OK. So I want to see if that continues. And I also always have a vested interest in the ACC, living in ACC country in North Carolina as they lose their first game of the season last week. So 0-1 North Carolina taking on 1-0 Louisville, the number 17th ranked the Louisville Cardinals. Vegas likes Louisville by 10. That's a lot of points in any regard. So Louisville taking on North Carolina. ESPN, 12 noon. That's the early game, Eastern time, this Saturday, where the Cardinals take on the Tar Heels. That's game number 2. Game number 3 of the biggest 3 games this weekend, so says me, is number 15, the Georgia Bulldogs taking on number 24, Notre Dame. Yeah. Yeah, so the last times these two teams have played each other, man, was in 1981 in the Sugar Bowl for the national championship. Herschel Walker was on that squad, and you know what happened? Georgia won the national championship. Did they win the game or no? I think I can't even remember, and I should have known that. But Georgia actually went deep into the playoffs 2 years in a row. So the last time these two teams have played was in 1981 in the Sugar Bowl, and they get it on this weekend, 7:30 p.m. You know Notre Dame got their own network on NBC, spoil SOBs. And I say that kind of like in jest, because back in the day, I had much respect for Notre Dame. I'm not going to say I was a Notre Dame fan, but just like any kid watching college football back in the day, Notre Dame was and has always been a big deal. Now, a lot of these younger players, it was actually a soundbite of a Georgia player saying that he doesn't give a rat's ass about Notre Dame. He doesn't know about Notre Dame and its history or whatever. But Notre Dame is kind of a big thing when it comes to college football. They are. And so you have 2 storied programs, the Georgia Bulldogs. Jake Fromm's actually going to start for Georgia this weekend, as Jacob Eason is still out with that injury sustained in week 1 of the college football season. Fromm last week went 10 for 16, 143 yards, and 1 touchdown pass. So you got Jake Fromm, or Fromm, the Fromm kid, quarterback in for Georgia, and then you've got Wimbush for Notre Dame, who last week played well as well. And so big matchup, big names, big programs in college football. These are 2 teams that you would put under the football factory kind of moniker. And so Georgia on the road, 7:30 p.m. on NBC once again, taking on Notre Dame. That's game number 3 of the Funky 4 college football games this weekend. And the biggest game this weekend in college football, man, to me, in my opinion, is the Auburn Tigers. Number 13, Auburn out of the SEC, taking on the reigning national champions, the Clemson Tigers. And right, it is Clemson with a Z. You pronounce it like it's a Z. The Clemson Tigers, the number 3 team in the country, get it on this weekend at 7 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. Yeah. So if you saw the Kelly Bryant kid, the quarterback for Clemson, taking over for Deshaun Watson, who dominated the last couple of years, the Bryant kid looks ready to go. A lot of people saying a better runner, a better athlete than Deshaun Watson, but can he be poised under pressure like Deshaun Watson was so many games throughout his career at Clemson, ultimately winning a national championship? Can he have that type of poise? That's what we want to see out of Kelly Bryant. This is a big one. I don't expect Auburn to vie for a national championship this year, but they are Auburn. They are out of the SEC, so it's going to be interesting to say the least. Death Valley, 7 p.m. Eastern time. That is the biggest game of the weekend in college football. So says me, the Doug Stewart Show. Yeah. That's what the Doug Stewart Show is telling you. And your host, Doug Stewart, man. So check out those 4 games. Clemson taking on Auburn, Georgia, Notre Dame, Louisville, UNC, as well as Oklahoma and Ohio State. When we get back from the break, what I'm going to do is jump in the chat room and see what y'all got to say about everything that we've talked about today. Do not go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show.
Block everything out, cause this is where it's at. Ain't another time, ain't another day. Some things in life you can't duplicate. That means right now, only one shot. You see, it's only one slot. Only number one of my cats. Snap, snap. If you ain't heard yet, Sam used to know the map. But they still.
Off top, I got a kid.
Hey Mac, what's up, dog?
Spray up, take your gas. Fatigues is on.
Q's worldwide.
We in the saddle.
Let's ride.
Stand up.
Popping for the buzz, it's the remix. Hey, Mac, it's your grown man, Gator. The blood go crazy every time you hear this.
No love lost, hating and gain. Boys that played but fell off and on the way. Dog like me, hopping in hood and on the rock. I help you go take your foot on, take up your boots, strap up your boots, take out the oil, real cows get loose. Walk out, chill, and I heard this, so it made sense to go make the remix. This your grown man, Gator. Kids get with me, setting out the hops till the oil tank empty. How about the bros? And I'm like a child, AJ and KC. I never can forget you. So I'm out, it's only right. Four corners all day and all night. It's the whole flow, with the sugar lean. Season how to do from the first to 13. Made a mirror. I can't help it. I'm watching for the brothers. I can't help it. I'm watching for the brothers. Rolling.
If I'ma be a dog, I'ma be a pit. Maybe a rock baller, you can tell by my grit. I'm rolling with the bros, you know who we be, repping the 12D. See, I am them to hell and back so you can't harm me. You see these vocals and these fatigues, we the army. Yes, we the army. Wrecking all the parties, that's why I always roll like 20 friends on me. Sometimes the bros just wanna have fun. Ain't no fun if they ain't getting none. So I'm setting it out for the good boys. Here you go, Ducky. I can't help it. I'm hopping for the bros. And I can't help it. I'm hopping for the bros. Rolling. I can't help it. I'm watching for the bros. I can't help it. I'm watching for the bros. I can't help it. I'm watching for the bros. I can't help it. I'm watching for the bros. I can't help it. I'm hopping for the bros. I can't help it.
If you're not Stewart, what the hell are you doing? Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show on this fantastic, freaky, funny Football Friday. As well as we are live on YouTube and Facebook Live. What the deal? Thank you for joining your boy on the realest sports and guy talk show in America. So all day long, we've been talking about these sports. Obviously, that's what we do, but we're also getting ready to give you in about 30 minutes the winner/loser of the Boil Peanuts Award, which goes to the Buster of the Week in sports, entertainment, and beyond. Your nominees are Chris Reed, a.k.a. Kid from Kid and Play, for joining up with punk-ass Jason Whitlock, the clown, Colin Kaepernick. He know better. He knows better. Shame on him. Ray Lewis was also nominated for much of the same and, overestimating his value to the Baltimore Ravens. Roger Goodell for continuing his role as dictator of the players in the NFL. Franco Harris, cooning. Jason Whitlock, master cooner. $45 for just doing everything that 45 has done ever since he's been in office. And Hurricanes are getting Buster Award nominations as well. Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Harvey for all of the destruction that they're doing and they're about to do in the state of Florida. Like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it why people would stay in Florida. I watched the governor this morning of Florida, the words come out of his mouth and say that this storm is much bigger than Hurricane Andrew, which totally demolished a lot of the state of Florida. And, this thing is a hurricane. It's classified as a Hurricane 5, which is massive. Hurricane Hugo was a Class 3 hurricane back in 1990. And when I tell you it tore apart my city, my hometown of Monks going to South Carolina, that's right, the big city of Monks going to South Carolina, it did. So my family doesn't play around with anything like that. We learned our lesson back then that when they tell you to get the hell out, you need to get the hell out. A lot of people, my man, Angry Black Man, just called the show and said that he's down there and he's not planning to leave. He's in the western part of the state. That's neither here nor there. They're talking about us getting some weather here in Atlanta. Now, what are we? 300, 400 miles from the coast, off the coast, near the Atlantic. So by the time it gets here, it's not going to have the winds. It just can't be. I don't think how hurricanes work that way. I think they have to be over water to a mass speed and all of that type of stuff. So by the time it gets here, it's just going to probably be a bunch of rain, maybe a little bit of wind. The worst that could happen to us here in Atlanta is some flooding, I believe. And we kind of know the areas that we have flooding issues with. I just don't understand why you would stay down there and try to weather this thing out, no pun intended, when they then told you to get your ass up and leave. I don't get it at all. One of the listeners, Mocha Bella, listening to the show, she's saying she's going to stay. And, in Florida and South Carolina, all of the states on the coast, we go through this every year. All right. We go through this every year where there's always a hurricane forming down near the Caribbean, and usually the track is coming north down the coast. And so we go through this every year. And usually we'll get 1, 2, maybe 3 scares. And usually it's a Class 1, maybe a Class 2. So it's no big deal. Every once in a while, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, maybe every 5, maybe 10 years, you get a big one. When I say a big one, I'm talking about a 2, a 3, or something like that. But for the most part, we know the routine. And when you come up against a big one, as I continue to say, you know that you shouldn't play around with that. You need to get the hell out of Dodge. And a lot of people, man, from what I can tell and all of these news reports, man, a lot of people are saying they're going to stay down there and weather this thing out. I hope it's okay. I don't understand the thinking of that, but I hope it's okay. I'm going to pray for you, man. And hopefully it's just, it dissipates and it's not as bad as we think or they're projecting it to be. And hopefully everything will be okay. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show on the DougStewartShow.com. You're also watching on Facebook Live as well as YouTube Live from Willie D in the chat. He says, peace, everybody. Have a safe weekend. Stay dry. All you Florida Stewies, prayers up. Definitely. LD from the D. Hate that you feel that way, G-Money. All the people you named are just men, sinful men like we all are. You can't really generalize an entire religion like that, but to each his own. Sorry you was hurt like that. One thing about the Stewies, man, a lot of times they be having these in-depth, deep little conversations in the chat room, which I have no idea what they're even talking about. Jam from Snellville in the chat room on the DougStewartShow.com. He says, in the famous words of my fellow UGA fan, Thorny, man, F Notre Dame. By the way, game you Stewies and Stewettes, or good morning. He's saying good morning. From, who do we have here? From Jersey Vern, Doug, stop. The Buckeyes didn't struggle in that game. It was a game one, son, and we beat the point spread. So Vern from Jersey is a resident Ohio State fan. But this is what we think about Ohio State, their football program, and all of its fans. Turn your ass around, Vern. Turn your ass around. That's what we think about you and your Ohio State Buckeyes team. They did struggle. Anybody that watched that game, Ohio State was sweating midway through the third quarter of that damn game. They couldn't get anything going. Offensively, defensively, nothing. One of the wide receivers for Indiana had like 340, 55,000 yards receiving. Shut up. Be quiet. From Julia C81. Good morning, Julia C81. He says the picture of Ray Lewis with the team owner was after the Ravens went with another quarterback. That's funny. That's funny. From RC, Ray Lewis is under the illusion of inclusion. That's a very good way to put it. A very good way to put it. From G Money, Joel Osteen and Jesus' Christianity deserve the BPA, in my opinion. Damn. You want to give Christianity a BPA? Moving right along from Rough Buff. Rough Buff says, don't like the Facebook chat. That's fine, but you got three different options, brother. You got three different options. From, let's see, CJink75, I thought so, Slide. That's why I said before and after the season, he is making money playing basketball, so he should be fine. I think he's going back talking about LeVar Ball and his proclamation that Melo Ball is going to wear his shoe. It's the family shoe. It's the family business. And the NCAA ain't going to tell him how to run his life. They went back to that conversation. That's one of the top 5 stories of this past week. I still got the number 1 story from this past week that I'm going to disclose to you here in a second. But that's definitely one of the stories on my list. Reiterating my top 5 list thus far. Number 5, the Howard Bison, MEAC Love, beating UNLV this past week. Shouts out to them. Yeah. Lamar Jackson balling out of control, all kind of like college related. That was the number 5 top story of the weekend. Number 4, Brock Osweiler and crew. Talking about Brock Osweiler, the Denver Broncos, the Houston Texans, all of these darn different entities in sports. Number 3, LeVar Ball, ain't the boss to me. Number 2, Ray Lewis. And number 1, still yet to come. But let me go ahead and grab a call. Caller, thanks for calling the Doug Stewart Show. What's your name? Where you calling from? What you want to talk about?
Number 1, Chief Rocket, Jersey Vern. Boom! Guess who stepped in the room?
All right, the number 1 Chief Rocket, Vern from Jersey. How you doing, Vern?
And man, I'm just chilling like a villain. You know what I'm saying? That's about it, man. You know,
Vern, so we about to go to a break. You got bad timing as usual. But before we go to this break, I read your little email about Ohio State, and you say that they didn't struggle against Indiana last week. Please tell, Vern.
Okay. I'm going to put it to you like this. Indiana had 21 points the whole game. They got 14 points the first half when they had that momentum. They scored the first touchdown in the second half. All right? They made the score 21-20. The next play, Ohio State threw a little short pass to the wide receiver. Nobody touched him. He ran past people. And from then on, they kept going and got 49 points. So tell me, where did they struggle at, Doug Stewart?
Vern, they struggled the whole first half. Did you watch the game, Vern?
The first half.
Yeah,
I watched the first half.
But they're Ohio State. They played against They were better to put the Hoosiers basketball team out there than the damn football team. What?
Okay, tell me something. Georgia played Apollonia State, and they way less than Indiana.
Yeah,
Indiana played good ball last year.
But Vern, I need you to stay on script. We ain't talking about Georgia. We talking about Ohio State punk asses.
No, I'm just trying to make a comparison of teams and the capability. You know what I'm saying? Indiana almost beat Michigan last year, and that was supposed to be a Michigan team that was supposed to go.
Hey, man, tell it to your preacher, Vern. I ain't trying to hear that shit today, man. I ain't trying to hear that today. Now, let me say this. The guy you just heard on the line is the #1 Chief Rocker Vern from Jersey. He actually has a show on the Two Live Shoes Radio Network. He kind of like your old drunk uncle. All right? So we love him to death, but he always calling up here bragging on Ohio State, the Yankees, and who else is this team? Who's this team in? Oh, and he's a Giants fan. We ain't got time to hear that. We ain't got time for all of that mess. When we get back from the break, man, it will be hour number 3. No, we're already in hour number 3. When we get back from the break, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to break down for you the top 4 games in the NFL on this fantastic, freaky, funny Football Friday. We'll do that, and then we'll get you set to give out these ball peanuts at the bottom of the hour. All right, Sports Talk with Hot Sauce, Texas Pete Hot Sauce. We ain't trying to hear that shit first. Back in 3 minutes.
I already know it. I hold the cute out on the flow. Already, baby. You know what it is, man. You know how it was when you first crossed, man. Let's go, nigga. Yeah, you know what it is. Where my neos at? Where my old school Greek chest? You know what it is, man. Hey, come on. Turn the lights on so we can all see. I bet you can't step like me. You can squash the talk, cause I'ma show off. Whether fat, harm fit, I'ma still take my shirt off. I can't forget sorority, but y'all know what y'all be when it's 100 degrees. Got your hair tied up, take your earrings off. Your hairless man, tell her don't point out in the hay. Get the slapping, hey, let's start stepping, hey. Get the slapping, hey, let's start stepping, hey. Get the slapping, hey, let's start stepping, hey. Get the slapping, hey, let's start stepping. I got love for everybody, but respect my turf. Cause I promise if you don't, somebody gon' get hurt. When we get the club, we gon' party all night, throw it up. If you know you represent the Greek life, baby. What a taste, hey, hey, what a season, hey, hey, what a H, hey, what a new hey, new fire, hey, what a cute, hey, what a taste, hey, what a easy, what a season, hey, hey, what a H, hey, what a new new fire, what a cute, hey, don't know that. Don't walk that. And if you Greek, then you know what I'm talking about. Don't know that. Don't walk that. And if you Greek, then you know what I'm talking about. Don't know that. Don't walk that. And if you Greek, then you know what I'm talking about. Don't know that. Don't walk that. And if you Greek, then you know what I'm talking about. If the K's in the place, don't let me hear you. If the K's in the place, don't let me hear you. If the G's in the place, don't let me hear you. If the D's in the place, don't let me hear you. If the Zetas in the place, let me gon' hear you. If the Zetas in the place, let me gon' hear you. SG Road, let me gon' hear you. SG Road, let me gon' hear you. If the apes in the place, let me gon' hear you. If the apes in the place, don't let me hear you. If the noops in the place, don't let me hear you. If the noops in the place, don't let me hear you. If the Sigmas in the building, don't let me hear you. If the Sigmas in the building, don't let me hear you. Strong man, Pink Gator, P-I-N-C Gator. All my Bearcats alumni, current students, ex-students. Let me hear you eat 'em up, cat. Snap, snap. If you ain't heard yet, Sam Houston on the map. But they still sleeping on us. Wake 'em up. You reppin' Sam Q? Let me see you throw it up. Let me hear you eat 'em up, cat. Snap, snap. If you ain't heard yet, Sam Houston on the map. But they still sleeping on us. Wake 'em up. You reppin' Sam Q?
All right, welcome back to the show, the Doug Stewart Show, on the DougStewartShow.com. A lot of people realizing that this show actually exists today. Man, we've been doing this show for almost 3 years. Shit! Oh, man, we've been doing this show for over 3 years now. We're giving you some other platforms to listen to the show on. But we've been doing this for 3 years, man. Have been having a good time doing it, man. Have really built a great relationship between the host and the listeners, so much so that we even got our 3-year anniversary weekend coming up in a couple of weeks here in ATL. So if you're new to the show, even if you live in Atlanta, man, the weekend of September 29th, we actually have this thing called TDSS Weekend, in which we celebrate. And, you know, we have so many loyal listeners that are in the chat room every day and that listen to the show. They kind of want to put a face with a name or a profile pic. And so the weekend of September 29th, we got a couple of events scheduled. Cats are coming in from all over the country to come celebrate with their fellow listeners, the Stewies and the Stewettes. So that Friday night, the weekend of September 29th, we have the official meet and greet at the 617 Cigar Lounge Social Club in downtown ATL, starting at 8 o'clock. So that's going to be cool. If you've ever been to that spot, it's a real nice spot. Then the next day, we've got a big cookout at one of the listeners' houses. And then that night, the Stewies planning to get together and do some bowling. And then the coup de grace of the weekend is that Sunday, where the Buffalo Bills come to town taking on the Atlanta Falcons. So the official Two Live Stews weekly, tailgate for the Falcons that's been going on for about 13 years goes down at the new Mercedes-Benz Stadium, shouting. Yeah. And so we've been doing this show for a while, a real big day for us as we expand our reach to YouTube and to Facebook. But pass the word, share the link, make sure you follow us on YouTube and on Facebook so that whenever we get we go live, you'll get an alert on your phone through email or what have you to let you know that we're live. And so we already have that capability on the website on the DougStewartShow.com. But once again, we do this Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Right here on the Two Live Stews Radio Network on the DougStewartShow.com. If you want to hear the show every day and get down with the Stewies, you need to get a premium membership. It's only $4 a day. It's not like anybody trying to get rich. We're just trying to eat every day and keep the lights on. Truth be told, $4, you find $4 and change in your damn sofa cushion. Seriously. So support us, support the Two Live Stews Radio Network, support black businesses, and more importantly, support me so that we can keep doing this shit every day. Period. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, all right, so the top 4 games in the NFL coming up this weekend, man, so says me. Game number 1, the Atlanta Falcons on the road taking on the Chicago Bears. Few people can argue, man, that Matt Ryan isn't coming off his best season ever. Dude won the MVP last year, took the team to the Super Bowl, but we all know what happened. They fell a little bit short, and that's putting it lightly. Losing in the Super Bowl to the New England Patriots after giving up a 25-point lead. So the Falcons are on their quest in 2017 to try to get back to the Super Bowl. Last year, probably, I've been here 20 years, probably the best team that the Atlanta Falcons have ever had. They've got pretty much the entire team coming back. A lot of the young players got more experience. The defense has been a beast. Dan Quinn in his 3rd year at the helm for the Atlanta Falcons, man, has done a phenomenal job to kind of transform the culture around this team and in this city, man, and bringing that real defensive presence. And they got a bunch of young guys in this defense that they're going to build around for years to come. Grant, Love, the linebacker Love, offensive tackle Grady Jarrett, who balled out of control in the Super Bowl last year. Did I say Love? Devontae Campbell is who I was thinking of. So Campbell, Grady Jarrett, then you got Vic Beasley, and everybody in the city is excited about Tack McKinley, the defensive end that we just drafted out of UCLA. So the Falcons, man, back this year, and if they don't get it done very soon, then they aren't going to have the opportunity because Matt Ryan, this is his 10th year, I believe, in the league, and time's a ticking. So I'm going to talk a little bit later in today's show about the Falcons and how far I think they can make it if you didn't hear those thoughts on yesterday. So the Falcons on the road on Fox, 1 p.m. kickoff Eastern time in Chicago. And Vegas likes the Falcons by, and I don't see the spread right now. I think the spread in this game, here it goes. The Falcons favored in this game by 6.5 points. So that's game number 1 on my Funky 4 games this weekend. Game number 2, and this is a little bit out of the ordinary. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Game number 2 of my Funky 4 biggest NFL games this weekend is the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road taking on the Cleveland Browns. I know, you're shocked and you're scratching your head. How the hell would you like any game involving the Cleveland Browns? I'm very intrigued to see if Deshaun Kaiser, drafted out of Notre Dame, has any appearance that he's going to be the guy long term. The Cleveland Browns have had over 27 different starters over like the last 10 years or something crazy like that. And I like the Kaiser kid, man. Came out against the wishes of his coach, Brian Kelly there in Notre Dame early. And the kid won the starting job over some veteran quarterbacks, led to Brock Osweiler being released from the team. And now back with the Denver Broncos. And they drafted Myles Garrett, the first pick in the draft this year, even though he's not going to play this week because of injury. He has a high ankle sprain, not going to play the first couple of weeks of the season. So I want to see if the Cleveland Browns can, do anything. Now, what's probably going to happen is the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to whoop this ass by at least 3 or 4 touchdowns. But Cleveland sports fans, man, passionate to say the least, and they're going to be up for this game. And I want to also see how good the Pittsburgh Steelers look. It is against the Browns. It is early in the year, but I also want to see if the Steelers look good, if they're going to be one of those teams we're talking about late in the year vying for a Super Bowl as well. So that's game number 2. The Steelers on the road taking on the Cleveland Browns. Game number 3. Game number 3, as far as the 4 biggest games this weekend in the NFL, we call it the Funky 4, is the New York Football Giants on the road taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Can't stand either one of these teams. Can't stand either one of these teams, Giants or the Cowboys. Vern from Jersey just called up. He's one of the reasons why I don't like the Giants, because of his ass. As well as all of the Cowboy love, America's team love that we always get from sports fans far and wide. But in what is becoming a rite of September, the New York Giants and Dallas Cowboys will face each other at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas on Sunday night to open the season for the 3rd straight year. So this is NFC East, old school, Giants, Cowboys. You want to see the progression of Dak Prescott, no Ezekiel Elliott, Odell Beckham, will he play? Eli Manning continuing to helm the quarterback position for the New York Giants. It's New York, for God's sake, and it's Dallas. It's Big D. So the Cowboys are favored in this game by 4 points. Once again, the big thing you got to remember is no Ezekiel Elliott. Or let me back up. There is an Ezekiel Elliott. I'm speaking too far ahead. He's still suspended after the hearing between him and the NFL. Still going to face a 6-game suspension, but he will play this weekend against the New York Giants. So we want to see what Ezekiel Elliott can do out there. First time out this year. So it's NBC, 8:30 p.m., the late game on Sunday night. Cowboys hosting the New York Giants. And the biggest game this weekend, the best game this weekend, in my opinion, is the Green Bay Packers hosting the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah. That's right. So the Packers hosting the Seattle Seahawks. A lot of people got the Seahawks as the favorites to make it to the Super Bowl from the NFC. Eddie Lacy now a part of that team at the running back position. No more Marshawn Lynch. You know that. But this team is poised and ready to make another run for the Super Bowl, in which they've done many times over the last couple of years. The Green Bay Packers, everybody's favorite. So one of the darlings of the season last year, fell way short and getting dominated, shut out by the Atlanta Falcons in the playoffs. They still got Aaron Rodgers, the best quarterback in the game, in my opinion. So this is going to be a good one. 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff on Fox. Packers hosting the Seattle Seahawks. Packers favored by only 3 points. This is going to be a good one, a great one. There it is. Game number 4 on my list of Funky Four. So you got Packers versus Seahawks. You got Giants versus the Cowboys. And you got the Cleveland Browns hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Chicago Cubs hosting, or the Chicago Bears hosting the Atlanta Falcons. All right? When we get back from the break, man, we'll jump into the chat, see what y'all got to say about everything that I've talked about. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away.
Throw it up, let me hear you eat 'em up, cats. Snap, snap. If you ain't heard yet, Sam Houston on the map. But they still sleeping on us. Wake 'em up. Really don't listen for a minute, and you suckers finna see why. 5+ in it, and I'm still on my BI. Doing my own thing, labels is not working with me. On your baby mama ringtone, yeah, she working with me. Had to flip it for a minute, put you brothers on that pimp tip. Y'all be sleeping on me when I put y'all on that thing tip. I don't understand, and I guess I never know why. But we gon' make the best, play some bones and go and get high. Chill out on the porch, sipping in till the sun fall. Group of players talking game, waiting for a him to call. I just can't believe that this really what you want from me. Leader of the dogs, this is not what's in my pedigree. Time after time, I get better with the rhyme. Slip a message in the music for the brothers doing crime. Hope you say a prayer and reconsider before you re-up. My soul's in the flow, you should know okay to see up. That's right, man. Sometimes you gotta talk to him, you know. Quit jamming, keep riding for a minute, just don't talk to him. Slow down for a minute, you know what I mean? Just pull him in a little bit, man. We all need to be pulled in sometimes, man. Just kids, even when we all doing right, even you grown up, it get hard out there, man. Hey, kiss your mama one more again, slowly fade into the dark night. Sleep come with you, cause she praying that you get it right. 5 stars, I've been there, got cars, I done been there. Behind jail bars, home, but I never be there. I'm screaming to my race, can you please see me halfway? Devil is a lie, doggone, put the dope away. The pills and the guns in your generation curse. When you justify your wrong, and just make your cycle worse. I'm speaking from experience and learning from my peers. You feeling all alone, ask God to pull you near. He feel your pain, know your heart, see your stress, hear your cry. Even in your darkest hour, get some out and bring you light. If it's flesh, if it's money, if it's kids, if it's raw. Ain't no sin too big, ain't no problem too small. Give yourself up to God, the devil will flee. You ain't gotta be dead for your soul to rest in peace. Skater. Really don't listen for a minute and you suckers finna see why. 5 plus in it and I'm still on the DI.
All right, welcome back to the show. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show live on Facebook, as well as YouTube, and most certainly on the DougStewartShow.com. The number to the show is 404-822-5467. See, this is the type of shit I'm talking about right here. This type of shit I'm talking about right here, and I don't even see the damn message right now. But somebody during the break posted in the chat room, at least the Dallas Cowboys never gave up a 28-3 lead in Super Bowl. See, this is the type of shit I'm talking about that you have to deal with when you do what the Atlanta Falcons did last year, or what they didn't do last year, which is going to haunt us forever here in this city. Like, even if the Falcons come back, and we're about to give out these boiled peanuts here in a second, even if the Falcons do come back and win a Super Bowl this year, which I'm going to talk about more about that here in a second, my picks for the NFL and for college football, my preseason picks to win it all. But even if they do, it still hurts. Like, it still hurts the Seattle Seahawks that they lost that Super Bowl a couple of years ago when they got cute on the goal line, as opposed to giving the ball to Marshawn Beast Mode Lynch. They tried to pass the damn ball in. They're never going to forget that. Never. And just take what the Falcons did last year and multiply it by 50. Really hurts, man. And I'm not even from Atlanta. Can you imagine how an Atlanta born and bred resident felt last year after that damn Super Bowl? And I'm not going to stay on this. I'm going to move on from this. But that's typical of what we get around here in this city now. The city of Atlanta, and I'm going to do the damn BPA in a second. I'm sorry. I got sidetracked by this shit, but it's bothering me right now. The city of Atlanta has one professional championship. One. The city of Boston got 37. What kind of bullshit is that? How could, and listen, I'm not going to question God. I mean, heck, he's God. All right? But it doesn't seem fair that the good Lord above, and I really shouldn't question the good Lord, but I'm going to lightweight question the good Lord. Why would the good Lord let one city, a racist city, a lot of people would tell you, the fans are purity racist, there's history about that. Why would the good Lord allow the city of Boston to have 37 championships and the city of Atlanta, which is Chocolate City, was the land of milk and honey for black people in this country, to a large degree, only have one, which was the Braves in 95. Why, Lord? Why, Lord? Why us? And I'm sure there's probably somewhere in the Bible that says that you shouldn't question the Lord. And I'm not questioning you, Lord. I don't want no damn lightning strike to go down, blow up this darn studio. But it's just unbelievable, man. And from the end of time, you're going to have people that posted that thought in the chat room, echoing those same sentiments from now and forever. All right. JY3 says Atlanta's been replaced by Ninjaville. If you're new to the show, we call this studio, we call where this show is broadcasted from, and the listeners, we all live in Ninjaville, where everything is right for ninjas. It's like one of those hidden lands behind a waterfall or something deep in the woods, kind of like where the Smurfs live at, we call it Ninjaville. Everything is good in Ninjaville. Let's give out these boiled peanuts. Peanuts taste better boiled.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to begin our study of a male erection. We are adults. Now, I want everybody together to go ahead and say, penis, penis, penis.
Penis tastes better. Penis tastes better. Penis tastes better boiled.
Come on, y'all, say it.
No, man. Peanuts. I'm trying to say it as slow as I can. Peanuts. 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 Y'all know what the hell I was saying.
Come on, y'all, say it.
And it is that time of the week where we give out ball peanuts to the bust of the week in sports, entertainment, and beyond. Let's recap who your nominees are for this week's Ball Penis Award. Your nominees this week are Chris Reed, a.k.a. Kid from Kid and Play, for going along with, I'm sure, Jason Whitlock's idea to poke fun and mock Colin Kaepernick. You mocking a dude that's standing up for the people in a movement started by Colin Kaepernick to bring attention to awareness and awareness to social injustice in this country. And you partnered along with punk-ass Jason Whitlock and mock Colin Kaepernick? His ass was nominated for some ball peanuts. Also, you nominated Jason Whitlock himself, obviously. Ray Lewis got nominated. Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, has been nominated for some ball peanuts, which are the bust of the week in sports, entertainment, and beyond. You also nominated Franco Harris, legendary running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers during the 70s. One of the best running backs in the game at the time. You nominated him for a lot of coonish behavior as well. It's just like a bunch of coons just hanging out together. You also nominated 45, who's inspired a lot of this cooning. And then also you nominated Hurricanes Irma and Hurricanes Harvey, who Harvey did major destruction to the state of Texas, in particular the Houston area. And Irma's just getting cranked up, which is going to hit the United States, Florida, the continental United States here in a second, man. So those are your nominees. And this week's Ball Penis Award / winner loser is... Wow. And a shocker. Not really, but kind of a shocker. The Hurricanes. Once again, not the Miami football team. Yeah. And I guess y'all spoke with y'all heart. This was a tough competition this week. A lot of people deserve the bust of the week in sports, entertainment, and beyond. We call it the Ball Penis Awards. A long story on how we came up with that name. But I guess it's proper. I guess it's protocol that you give a Buster Award, a fictional Buster Award to these entities, these storms that are wreaking havoc in our country. And so this week's Ball Penis Award winner / loser are the Hurricanes. It's like they're Mr. and Mrs. Irma and Harvey. Also coming in, getting the second most votes is punk-ass Jason Whitlock. Coming behind Jason Whitlock had 27% of the vote. Coming behind Jason Whitlock is Kid from Kid and Play, who had 18%. And Ray Lewis actually tied Kid from Kid and Play. They both had 18-point-something% of the votes on this week's Ball Penis Award nomination. So thank you for participating. Yeah. Thank you for participating, man, in this week's Ball Penis Award competition, I guess you'd call it. Yeah. All right, so we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to get back from the break. We're going to wrap up today's show. And I'm going to give you the number one thing talked about this week in the world of sports, entertainment, and beyond. We'll talk about that. And then we'll wrap up and we'll get out of here today for the first episode of the Doug Stewart Show on Facebook Live as well as YouTube Live. Yeah. All right. So a quick little break. Back in 3 minutes. Don't go away.
I'm looking for a diva, looking for a diva. Gotta get a delta, gotta get a delta. Any deltas in the building, deltas in the building. Every time I see your face, it does something to me. It sends a chill right through me, right through me. We always in a hurry, always in a hurry. We need to take a minute, and let nature unfold. Ooh. I know you got everything, but it's one thing you're missing, I know you think I'm tripping. Ooh. Yeah. Have you ever in your life missed out on what was supposed to? Let's get closer, I'm looking for a diva, Gotta get a delta, Any deltas in the building, I'm looking for a diva, Gotta get a delta, Any deltas in the building, I ain't tryna run no G. Them days is behind me, You know where to find me, Love is the healer of all, Heart's been broken, Have you ever been broken, my dear? I don't wanna come off conceited, no, but I'm what you've been needing, Girl, you got me feeling. I'm looking for a diva, Gotta get a delta, Any deltas in the building.
You gonna eat your beans and cornbread? Yes, it's your grown man Gator. Yeah, P-I-N-C. Yeah, we finally here, baby. You're not dreaming. That's right.
I'm a cute, and I'ma do it big for the girls. I'm a cute. I'ma show love to the girls. I'm a cute. I'ma hit the club high. I'm a cute. Everybody gon' know about me. I'm a cute. On shirts off, man. I'm a cute. Dress code, nice joke, man. I'm a cute. Line long walk to the front. I'm a cute. I'm a cute. And I'ma set it out anytime. I'm a cute. All I need is myself for a line. I'm a cute. Any state I go to, I'm good. I'm a cute. All up the bros out of town. I'm a cute. Run out of oil, got crown. I'm a cute. Scoop up a dime, set her out. I'm a cute. Don't sleep at 6 up to 8. I'm a cute. I'm a cute. You know how it is when you roll with the cute. You know how it is when you roll with the cues. You know how it is when you roll with the cues. You know how it grown man with the cute. Yeah, I just wanna live my life. I'm a cute sci-fi till I die. I'm a cute. I'm a dog, that's my way. I'm a cute. If I had a little boy,
Welcome back to the show. Once again, all of the music today is provided by my man Pink Gator. What up, Q?
I'm a cute. When I was knee high, I dreamed to be a cute. And now I'm 25, damn right. I'm a cute.
Because he allowed us to use it, and we ain't trying to have nobody come and look for us to try to get some money.
I'm a cute. That's my LB, that's the mouth from the cute.
Yeah. Hey, welcome back to the show, the Doug Stewart Show. Speaking of which, all right, so for the foreseeable future, this looks like it's going to be the way that we're going to do the show, the layout of the show on each Friday. So you might be a independent artist. You might got some good music, man. Shoot me the music. And as well as when you email me the music at doug@thedugstewartshow.com, make sure and specifically say that you give me authorization to play your music. And if your music is good, I'll play it. Now, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to be very, very honest. If it's not good, I'm not going to play that shit. Right. So don't have your feelings get hurt, all right? You just send me the music. You know if your music good or not. I mean, people have told you. Not your family, neither. Don't listen to your family. Listen to an arbitrary person on the street. All right, so if your music is good, just like we featured my man Pink Gator today, all day long in the show because he gave us authorization to use his music, email me your stuff and say, Doug, you can go ahead and use this and we'll promote it. We'll put your name out there. We'll give a website. Pink Gator, the guy with all these tracks on today's show, is all over YouTube, all over iTunes. He's an established artist. You know, he's just like me and Bob Ross. We're artists. You know, his art, though, is hip-hop. Bob Ross's art was art. My art is sports talk radio, all right? And so Pink Gator is real big, man, and established. So go to YouTube and just search, Google Pink, P-I-N-C, Gator. Go to iTunes. He's put out several albums, man. Real talented artist coming to you out of Texas, and one of the frats, one of my frat brothers as well. One of the brothers of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. So support independent music, support independent business. Period. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got you covered. Yeah. All right, so we've been talking all day long today. Before we get out of here, we've been talking all day long today about the top 5 sports stories of the week, thus a top 5 Friday. Number 5 on my list was Howard University beating UNLV, which was the biggest upset. This is so significant in so many ways because it's Cam Newton's little brother, Kalen Newton, who's the quarterback. It's a small HBCU college, historically black college, university, Howard University, which Howard's not even a football program, like a football type, dominant program. They haven't really been good at football for a long, long time. As I mentioned earlier, they're in the same conference my college is in, the MEAC conference. So they beat a Division I program. They were a 45-point underdog. That was huge. That was one of the big stories this week, as well as Lamar Jackson on his second year, his assault for another Heisman Trophy. That was topic number 5, story number 5. Number 4 was Brock Osweiler in the merry-go-round of teams that he's been a part of, cut, released, signed with. Number 3 was LeVar Ball saying the NCAA ain't the boss of him. Number 2 was Ray Lewis. The number 1 biggest story this week in the world of sports, entertainment, and beyond is football is back. Yeah. Football is back. Football is back and in a big way. Yesterday on my brother's show, or right before my brother's show, the Ryan Stewart Show, on the 2 Live Stews radio network. We gave predictions yesterday, but to recap, man, me and my brother, and I swear to you, we didn't plan this. We both picked, coming from the AFC, the Oakland Raiders to make it to the Super Bowl. And after what happened last night, I feel very good about that pick. And we both also, maybe inherently, we're a little biased. We picked the Falcons to make it back to the Super Bowl this year as well. So we both had Raiders and Falcons in the Super Bowl. My brother picked the Raiders to win it all. I'm picking the Falcons to finish what they started last year and win the Super Bowl this year in the NFL. Yeah. Yeah. I'm picking the Falcons to win it all this year. Falcons, Raiders in the Super Bowl. Falcons get it done. You know, kind of like a mea culpa of what happened last year. And if you remember, man, in sports over the last couple of years, this has kind of been prevalent where Clemson lost the year before in the national championship, came back to beat Alabama the next year. Also, you had the same thing happen in college basketball with North Carolina. So usually in the past, I would say a team that lost in such dramatic fashion as the Falcons, you know, in a championship game, like they have no chance of getting back and making it happen the following year. but we're living in some strange times right now, literally and figuratively. And so I got Falcons and Raiders in the Super Bowl, all black Super Bowl, all black uniform Super Bowl, and I got the Falcons winning it all. All right? And we kind of touched upon this on yesterday as well on the Doug Stewart Show. We kind of touched upon it on yesterday as well. In college football, I don't know about the Final Four. I'm not even going to pick the Final Four because really it doesn't matter. I do think Clemson, I can say this, even though they lost a lot last year, I think Clemson's now to the status of their program going to be one of those teams that just reload. So I like the Clemson Tigers, man, to make it back to the Final Four. I'm not sure about them making it to the final. And I know it's kind of lame and it's, it's not exciting or whatever. I got Alabama winning it all again. Like, I'm hoping Alabama doesn't win another national championship this year. But why at this point in the year, the preseason picks, why would anybody that watches college football, and college football is right outside, or it's probably my favorite sport, even more so than the NFL. Why would anybody that knows anything about college football pick any team, unless you're a homer and you're a fan of another team? Why would anybody pick against Alabama? They just got too much. They got too much depth. They got too much NFL talent on that team. They've got too much coaching. They've got one of the greatest coaches in college football history. I'm hoping they don't win a national championship this year. Somehow I wish Clemson or South Carolina could win a championship this year. Probably not going to happen. If you put a gun to my head, if I had to spend my last dollar in Vegas on who's going to win it all this year, that's the Alabama Crimson Tide, man. I'm sad to say that. Yeah. Sad to say that, man. So, there it is. What time is it? You know what, man? Today went actually very good. More better than I actually thought it was with this new stuff that we're doing on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live. It went great. Let's give ourselves a treat. Let's get out of here a minute or two early.
You gonna eat your beans and cornbread?
Well, all right, this is George Dr. Funkenstein.
Yeah.
The Atomic Dog, along with beans and cornbread on the beat.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, shouts out to my man Captain Kirk in the mothership, running this Facebook and YouTube stuff. My man Robert H. Thank you, Robert. Thank you for doing all that you did today. Shouts out to you, my man Poe Politicking, producer to the show. Waterhead Walter, producer to the show. Not here today, but shouts out to both of those guys. A special shouts out to our engineers, Dwayne Bassan, Gerald Oliveri, and as well, my man Pink Gator, who really brought it today as we featured all of his music today on the Doug Stewart Show. Shouts out Pink Gator. Once again, if you got music that you own, all right, that you have the rights to, and you want me to feature you on the Doug Stewart Show on a Friday when we go live on YouTube and on Facebook, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com and give me authorization to do that, all right? Big special shouts out to all of the Stewies. Without you, there is no me. Thank you very much. Thank you, Stewies. Thank you. All right. If you go to the number 2 livestewsradio.com, my man John Fisher Cooking with the Microwave Patty Cake Microwave is about to do his show today on a Friday. Special treat for you. Once again, 2livestewsradio.com. All right. The Cooking with the Microwave show. All right. So check out Microwave. Become a premium member. Go and check out thedougstewartshow.com. I will be back Monday on thedougstewartshow.com live once again. Not Facebook, not YouTube on Monday, but live on the website, the audio, all right, on Monday. So we'll see you then. Same Doug Stewart time, same Doug Stewart channel. Be careful in them streets. Peace.
Killing in the time, automatic rapture. Yeah, out, bruh.